All right, some big stuff today we're going to get into. And, oh man, the document scandal's getting worse every minute of every day for Joe Biden. So we got some big updates on that. And a lot of other things too. All right. All right. We're back for another day. Oh my goodness. You know, this Joe Biden document scandal is just it's getting worse for Biden every minute of every single day. And we got some big updates. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Today is going to be a rough day because not only am I still sick, which you're probably tired of me griping about, but my iPad, which I use for all of my show prep, and my audio sound bites did not charge last night. I guess I had it plugged into the charger, but I'm guessing the charger is not plugged into the outlet. So I got here to the radio station. My iPad is down to 5%. I plugged it into, well, a very small Apple charger. They got it up to 6%. All of my show prep is on the iPad, and I got a lot of audio sound bites that I want to share with you today that are just huge breaking stories, some of them that we're going to get into today. And I don't know how long my iPad is going to last. So I'm going to get into the sound bites earlier in the show than I normally would, and I might go through some of them faster than I normally would in case the iPad battery dies and I can't, by the time the 8 o'clock hour gets here, the iPad may be dead, and I won't have the ability to play the sound bites to you then. So I'm going to get into some of them a little earlier probably than I normally would. But the document scandal of Joe Biden's is getting worse every second of every day, and he's in all kinds of trouble. The biggest problem he has is that he's lost the media, and it's not very often that a Democrat president loses the media. The media are in the business of running interference and covering for Democrat presidents, not exposing them. And every so often, though, something happens. And yesterday we were talking, this whole scandal, it's Obama who's behind it. Right? We went through all of that yesterday. Got a major update on Barack Obama and his role here that I'm going to get to after the first break. I've got a piece of audio that I'm going to share with you of Barack Obama after the first break. And this is just tells you everything you need to know. And it's a bit of lost audio that I found yesterday. Actually, someone sent to me yesterday that I'm going to share with you after the first break. When I was talking yesterday that Obama is behind the whole thing, there's a lot of things for you to understand. Biden is controlled by Obama, his personal attorney that found the documents, right? That's the woman who was married to her husband by Obama. Merrick Garland is Obama. The Attorney General was nominated for the Supreme Court by Obama. Remember that? Kamala Harris is also an Obama person. Joe and Joe Biden hate Kamala Harris. They hate her like the plague. Okay? She humiliated Joe Biden in the first Democrat debate, pointed out the truth that he was a segregationist. He was opposed to the integration of public schools and was brought up through politics by racist segregationists. He was humiliated in that first debate by Kamala Harris. And he ended up choosing her to be his vice presidential running mate because Obama made it happen. And as incompetent and stupid as you and I believe Kamala Harris is, Obama controls her. And some people believe that they had a fling. I don't know. But there's been rumors going around for quite some time that she had an affair with Barack Obama. Whether or not they had an affair, he's the reason she's the vice president is Obama. So her becoming president means that she will do whatever Obama tells her to do, which is what he wants. So Obama is behind this whole operation, including including the media descending on the White House yesterday like it was a Trump press conference. I got a montage I'm going to play for you later in the show of Jean-Pierre with the White House Liberal Press Corps yesterday. That'll blow your mind. Democrats don't deal with this like this. Obama is trying to replace Biden with Kamala. And I know that sounds crazy, but that's what's going on. And as vacuous as she is between the ears, Kamala Harris, she did something yesterday that shows she's not completely stupid. Did you see this thing with the athletes at the White House? Biden and Kamala, I forget who it was. Was it basketball players, football? I can't remember who was at the White House yesterday. Basketball? Okay. It was basketball team was there. And did you see what Kamala refused to do? Pretty smart move on her part. They went to take a picture, Kamala and Biden with the basketball team. And I guess for some reason there wasn't a space in the front for them to, I don't know. And Biden decided he was going to get down on one knee, get down on his knees and take a picture in front of the basketball team on his knees. And Kamala Harris refused to get on her knees in front of the basketball team. Well, why do you think she did that? Because she's known as Willie Brown's girlfriend and a homewrecker. And she thought the image of a female vice president on her knees in front of an entire team was not a good look, that it would be a meme of all memes, right? So she's not completely stupid. She's got some sense and some sense of how people view her. So, not that I'm promoting Kamala Harris, but that's the one moment in her entire public life that I've seen her show that there's any intelligence in her brain whatsoever controlling her actions, because that would have been the most viral meme of the year so far. I know the year's just started, but it would have been a big meme. Kamala Harris on her knees, oh my God, could you imagine? I don't make memes, I'm not into memes, but I know a lot of you probably are. All right, so after the first break, I'm going to get into this piece of audio that I found, courtesy of one of our loyal listeners, of Barack Obama, which backs up everything I said yesterday, and then we'll get deeper into what is going on. But not only is there no second term in the cards for Joe Biden, he will resign before his first term is over. Kamala Harris will be the 47th president of the United States, which means Donald Trump will be the 45th and 48th president of the United States. So we're going to get into all of that. And also, Fox News was doing some Ron DeSantis bashing yesterday. It was light, it was mild, but it happened. And I'm going to get into that as well. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. It's Wednesday already, if you can believe it. We're, 10 days away from our cruise, which I'm very excited about. And I know Steve's excited about. My daughter's very excited about it. And if you are going on our shore excursion and have not yet talked to Ian, make sure you call him, all right, and book it, because our shore excursion is limited. There's not enough spaces on it for everyone in our group, so you got to call him and make your reservation. All right, our number is toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. And the reason, I got 5 people in my group. I've got myself, my daughter, she's bringing a friend, my daughter, my mother-in-law's coming with her husband. So I took up 5 of the spots, just myself, for the excursion. All right, listen, we'll take our first break and be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-CANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig on Oldies 95.9 and 106.
All right, I'm up to 10% on the iPad now, so hopefully it'll get me through it.
is offering the My Pillow, the pillow that started it all. Regular price $49.
Welcome, everyone. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. And everyone, please like the video. All right?
At checkout. I've tried every pillow, too. The foam pillow, bamboo pillow, and a bunch more. None of them worked until my first night's sleep with the My Pillow. That patented fill inside adjusts to your exact individual needs. It keeps your neck aligned, holds it in shape all night long, no matter your sleep position. So you get the best night's sleep with
I'll vlog and live stream from the cruise from time to time, so you guys can be stowaways through YouTube.
It's just $19.98 with our promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout at mypillow.com. You can also order over the phone, 1-800-716-4879.
Well, thank you. Yeah, my voice is not the hottest today, so it's going to be a rough show.
Order your MyPillow and get the best.
No, I'm not feeling better at all. I'm faking it. I'm faking it because who wants to listen to a guy who's sick and hacking and coughing on the radio? My hearing, my ears are clogged a little bit. I can hardly hear. Do I sound okay or do I sound sick? I'll let you guys judge. And early on it's okay, but as the show goes on, I'll start to run out of gas. I sound better than yesterday? Wow. I sound fine? That's awesome. That's amazing. Because you sound different to others than you sound to yourself, right? I sound fine. That's good. I don't sound sick. That's awesome. Well, unfortunately, I'm very, very sick.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, now I want to talk about Tom Laporta and Laporta Contracting. You know, he's a Florida roofing and general contractor, which is the highest level of contractor's license in the state of Florida. And he does great work. I've seen his work. And what he did to Steve's house was amazing. We met Tom Laporta because Steve had a wet spot on his ceiling and ignored it. And if you have a wet spot on your ceiling, even if it's tiny, the size of a coin, you've got a leak in your roof. And what happens is the leaks get bigger and bigger. You know, and by the time you see the wet spot on your ceiling, you've got a pretty bad leak in your roof. Even though it might only need a simple repair, you still got a bad leak because for it to get to your ceiling, it's got to get through whatever type, if you have shingles, if you have tiles, whatever you have, it's got to get through that. Then you've got, every roof has wood at some point underneath it. Then it's got to go through that, then it's got to go through your insulation that's in your attic and then get to your ceiling. So by the time you see a little tiny wet spot on your ceiling, you got a leak, right? And Steve didn't do anything about it and just ignored it. And next thing you knew, he had a wet spot here, a wet spot there, a wet spot here, there. He needed a whole new roof. He needed a whole new roof. If he would have called Tom Laporta, of course we didn't know Tom then. We found Tom Laporta through Steve's neglect of his home. But he would have just needed a simple repair. Because if you need a simple repair, Tom will do it. He will never sell you a roof you do not need. But because Steve ignored that, this is Florida, and what did the water do? The water spread. It got into the drywall. Steve had to have 40% of his drywall replaced because it was filled with deadly black mold. I smelled it at his house. I went to Steve's house, and it smelled like mold and mildew. But I didn't say anything. I didn't want to be rude about it. I didn't know it was deadly black mold. It just smelled moldy. And Steve and his family didn't realize it because, well, it grew so slowly while they were there. They were used to it. Yeah, I know. And all that could have been avoided. There were other problems, too, that Steve had because he neglected it. The dampness from the leak created a breeding ground for termites that were eating his house, so he had to get the roof replaced, 40% of the drywall replaced. He had to have the house treated for termites, which is a big job. Some of the walls on his second floor had to be replaced because they had just eroded between the termites and the water damage. It was a big job. All that could have been avoided if he would have called Tom Laporta when he first saw that leak on his roof. Now, Tom does every type of roofing material there is, and he also does every type of structure, not just single-family home. He handles businesses, churches, warehouses, office buildings, high-rises, condos, apartment buildings, HOAs. He does it all, and he covers the entire state of Florida. He's a good MAGA guy, and this number rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone. Here it is, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602, and online, LaportaContracting.com. Make sure you tell him you heard about him on the radio. Okay, so a listener sent me this audio, which is a clip of an interview of Barack Obama many years ago. I believe this was at the end of his second term. I think he was still in office. If not, he was just out of office. But I believe this was at the end of his second term. really, what a sad presidency. Can you name 2 things that he did that were good in his 8 years as president? Obama. If he wasn't the first black president, it would be an uneventful, non-historic presidency that people would forget about. But because he's the first black president, that itself makes it a big deal that they'll write books about him forever. Not only was he the first black president of the United States, he was the first black leader of a major nation in the world too. But he didn't make that happen. He was just born that way, right? But in his 8 years, he didn't do anything that I can think of that was memorable in a positive way. Okay, but anyway, this is an interview he gave, a clip of it, in his second term, and it fits into everything we've been talking about the last couple days with DOCU-GATE. Listen to this.
What you know now, do you wish like you had a third term? And I used to say, you know what, if I could make an arrangement where I had a stand-in, a front man or front woman, and they had an earpiece in, and I was just in my basement in my sweats looking through the stuff, and then I could sort of deliver the lines, but somebody else was doing all the talking and ceremony, I'd be fine with that.
Wow, there you have it. So, I know, right? And I remember that interview clip floating around and us laughing about it and joking about it. But we have it with Biden. But the problem are these stolen documents that Biden has, these classified documents, so he's got to go. So he's bringing him down, and he's going to replace him with President Kamala Harris. And Biden's days as president are really numbered. I mean, the countdown to his resignation began, I don't know, did it begin this week or last week? And you can tell by watching the White House press briefings. Jean-Pierre, during the White House press briefings, is under siege. I've got a montage that shows you this, but I just want to first play a clip by itself. This is a female reporter from CBS News. CBS News is as liberal as it gets. Dan Rather, Walter Cronkite, this is as liberal as it gets. And they're all over Jean-Pierre. And, you know, for a liberal in the Washington press corps to give this much difficulty to a Democrat press secretary about a Democrat president is unheard of, except in times of major scandal. Second, to give this kind of grief to the first black, lesbian, immigrant White House press secretary on top of it makes it even more historic that liberals will do this, right? You know, just asking hard questions of the first gay, black, immigrant White House press secretary is considered racist in many liberal circles. And Jean-Pierre is just, she's having a difficult time. So listen, this is the CBS White House correspondent yesterday was Jean-Pierre.
At the time, no, I did not know. I'm saying I had the information. I actually said this to Cecilia. I had the information that you all had at the time, right? And so this is why I also said to Cecilia, this is why we are trying to be very prudent here, and we're trying to be very consistent and say this is an ongoing legal process, and this is why I say we're just not going to comment from here. That is a perfect example in Cecilia's question, and I was very clear about that.
When did you learn about the documents found at the Penn Center in November and in Wilmington in December?
When your team was doing a story on it.
Got it.
Because I was also asked a similar question about if our team has been engaged on this, and I've been very clear. This is something that the White House counsel is handling. This is something that is being handled by the president's lawyers, and been very clear. That's why this is why we are being prudent here. This is why we're being consistent with what we have done the last 2 years when it comes to DOJ, Department of Justice investigation. We are just not going to interfere.
Okay. And now this is an interesting thing because, you know, I've been telling you this week, Biden's problem isn't the crimes that he's committed with these classified documents. The problem is he's lost the support of Democrats, right? He lost the support of his own attorney general. He's lost the support of the White House liberal press corps. He's lost CNN. He's lost Ilhan Omar. He's lost Adam Schiff. And this clip here, he's lost Jean-Pierre. Jean-Pierre just threw her president under the bus. This reporter from CBS asked, when did you know that the president illegally had these classified documents? She said, I found out from you on CBS News when you reported it. So Jean-Pierre said that Joe Biden was hiding this from her. That she did not know about it in November. When this was found out in November by his lawyer and by the attorney general, they told us when this story first broke, whenever it broke recently, weeks so ago, that they told the White House, right? Which means they told Biden and probably his chief of staff and Jill. They didn't tell Jean-Pierre. They kept it secret. There was a cover-up inside the White House at the top Biden level over this discovery, so high they did not even tell Jean-Pierre. And she wanted everyone to know that she is not a part of this cover-up. So Jean-Pierre is the first White House staffer to throw Biden under the bus and drop Biden. That is huge. And these reporters are so busy reporting how great they were with their questions, they're not listening to her answers. But this is massive. Jean-Pierre has dropped her support of Biden with the document scandal. She threw him under the bus. She's not defending him. She's not supporting him. And she wants everyone to know that there is a cover-up involved at the White House over this crime and that she did not know about it until CBS News reported the story. That's huge. That's breaking news that you're hearing here first. Even though it was during the press conference, no one highlighted that. All right, call us on hold. Stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. We'll take our break and be right back.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Oh, man. Now, I'm not going to talk too much during the breaks today, guys. I got to save my voice. All right? Because I'm having a tough time.
Rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious
Oh, it's awesome. So make sure you like the video, and I got a pocket full of hauls. I look better, I don't feel better.
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a true oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Things look great this morning in the Palm Beaches. 97 Turnpike, our both crash train moving at the speed between Boca Raton and Jupiter. We have some very light traffic on 441 north and southbound passing Boulevard.
So you have to listen to these answers they give very carefully.
Passing Southern Boulevard. Broward County is incident free at this
Well,
time.
I just can, my voice, I'm having a tough time with my voice.
Broward Boulevard.
My throat's fine, but
The copper disabled vehicle block.
my ears are a little clogged and my voice, it just doesn't
This
sound
is
right to me.
sponsored by eBay Motors. You might not have the biggest garage on the block, but with eBay Motors, there's 122 million parts right at your fingertips. Whatever you need, there's something that fits your vehicle: air filters, tires, seat covers, and more. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. That's traffic on Chris Barr.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. PBKC is kicking off 2023 with exciting events live in the Paddock Restaurant. Make plans for dinner shows, Joey and Maria's Comedy Italian Wedding, and Chris McDonald's Memories of Elvis on Valentine's Day. Then get ready to laugh with comedians the Flynn Brothers, Andrew Dice Clay, and Joe DeVito. For tickets and info, go to pbkennelclub.com.
If you're a homeowner, business owner, or with a homeowners association and your roof is old or compromised, you need to call Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting. Tom will give you a free evaluation. He's been in business since 1988. His services cover the entire state of Florida, and Laporta Contracting was voted in the best general contractor and best roofers in Fort Lauderdale. He's honest, knowledgeable, and reliable, and will never sell you a roof you don't need. If you need a simple repair, he'll do it. If you have an insurance claim, call Tom Laporta first. He'll give you the information and tools you need, so when you call your insurance company, you get the best results. Tom can handle any type of roofing job too. Residential roofing and repair, commercial roofs, schools, municipal buildings, office buildings, emergency repairs. If it's roofing, Tom Laporta can do it. Call Tom Laporta right now on his cell phone, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaContracting.com.
Hey, it's two men in a truck.
Good morning. I'm man number 1.
And I'm man number 2.
You're right on time.
We're the movers who care. We can handle all your move and packing needs across town or across the country.
Don't forget, we offer climate-controlled storage.
I'm so glad you're here. My last movers caused me a lot of grief. Now I can relax.
We move people forward. Find us at twomenpalmbeach.com
and twomentreasurecoast.com.
Two men and a truck.
The Steve Kane 2023 Mega Cruise is right around the corner. We leave January 28th on the Celebrity Apex out of Fort Lauderdale. First stop, San Juan, Puerto Rico. Then Tortola in the British Virgin Islands. And then St. Kitts. With exclusive events just for our group. Fine dining together every night. Cocktail parties, shore excursions, onboard activities, and a whole lot more. On the line is Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot. Ian, why should listeners book right now?
I blocked this group space during COVID, during the height of the pandemic, so we got some incredible deals.
Call Ian right now and lock in your cabin. 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779. Join us as we celebrate our president, Donald Trump. Make your reservation right now. 561-244-5779. No liberal stowaways allowed.
If you want to save money and start the year right, Staples has you covered.
I need everything to restock my business. File folders, break room supplies, even business cards.
Staples has you covered with big savings on everything you need for your home or office. Now at Staples, rewards members get $30 back via Staples store bonus when they spend $100. That's $30 to use towards.
It seems like they just had that Davos thing. Has it been a year already, or did they do it twice a year? Remember, Jack Posobiec ran into trouble with the World Economic Forum police last time? Was that a year ago?
Celebrating 45 years on the air.
All right, welcome back. Callers on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Oh, man, I'm Brian Craig, and if you're just tuning in, you missed a lot. Just let me recap this one part, then we'll go to the phones. Jean-Pierre dropped Biden during yesterday's press conference. Let me play the clip again. This is big news, guys.
At the time, no, I did not know. I'm saying I had the information. I actually said this to Cecilia. I had the information that you all had at the time, right? And so this is why I also said to Cecilia, this is why we are trying to be very prudent here, and we're trying to be very consistent and say this is an ongoing legal process, and this is why I say we're just not going to comment from here. That is a perfect example in Cecilia's question, and I was very clear about that.
When did you learn about the documents found at the Penn Center in November and in Wilmington in December?
When your team was doing a story on it.
Got it.
Because I was also asked a similar question about if our team has been engaged on this, and I've been very clear. This is something that the White House counsel is handling. This is something that is being handled by the president's lawyers, and been very clear. That's why this is why we are being prudent here. This is why we're being consistent with what we have done the last 2 years when it comes to DOJ, Department of Justice investigation. We are just not going to interfere.
All right, so just to explain what you just heard, this is, to me, the big story of the day. Should have been the big story yesterday. I heard this yesterday. No one picked up on what she said. So in November, they found the classified documents at the fake think tank. And what did they tell us they did? The lawyer, the Obama lawyer who's really supposed to be working for Joe Biden, but she really works for Obama. What did they say? We called the Justice Department and we called the archives, the White House, and the archives called the Justice Department. So they didn't tell Jean-Pierre about this. They were involved in a cover-up of the story so it wouldn't get out, and Jean-Pierre found out about it when we found out about it, when CBS reported it and it was up on Twitter. The significance of that is two things. One, Jean-Pierre, and this is a big one, Jean-Pierre is the first White House official, and she's a senior person at the White House. She's the press secretary. She has a whole department she's in charge of in the West Wing. Jean-Pierre is the first White House official to drop their support of Joe Biden. That's one. Second, she just acknowledged that there was a White House cover-up of this crime that she was not a part of. And she wanted everyone to know that she was not involved not only in any criminal activity, but no cover-up of it. Oh, this is huge. For her to say this about her guy, she's in trouble as White House press secretary. If the White House press corps would listen to her answers instead of being so impressed with their questions and trying to go viral with their questions, they'd have these huge stories like I'm sharing with you right now. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, Richie, good morning.
Hey, Richie.
Started off really, this is a wild show, but that Obama tape really made a lot of sense. But I got to tell you what she basically said. I'm going to go over her. I'm going to voice over her. Folks out there, I didn't know a thing about this cover-up. It's an ongoing cover-up, and I'm going to cover my behind.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. And I haven't, and I'm not breaking the law or involved in any conspiracy to cover up crimes. That's huge.
Yes, and then I'll tell you something that I picked up on, and I know because you've been watching it, you probably picked up on it too. Do you remember about a year and a half ago, the overseas, Biden went overseas, and he had a press conference, and then somebody questioned him, and he was walking out of it, and he walked back and scolded the news. Do you remember that when he yelled at?
Yeah.
Like. And you remember when that one guy called him out and he said, "Let me tell you something, Jack." Do you notice the difference in his behavior now when all the press jumped all over him yesterday and he sat there like a kid that got caught in it?
Well, I'm gonna play that clip later. He was who was he sitting with yesterday? Obama. Was it Trudeau?
I'm not sure, but he's sitting there with a big old smile on his face. All clip, he didn't react.
Well, okay, I'm gonna play that clip in a bit because there was a hot mic moment with the liberal reporter, but the press were barking questions about DOCU-GATE to Biden, and I saw the look on his face. It was a blank stare, like he didn't know what they were asking or where he was. He looked like he was checked out.
But he is not attacking them. He's not standing up for himself. When you get caught in a lie, how can you stand up for yourself? You can be the greatest liar in the world, but when you're caught, sit there and say, "Uh-oh," and that's exactly what.
Well, you know what I've been telling you guys all week is what got Nixon is when he lost the support of the Republicans, his own party, and now with Jean-Pierre added to this list, he is losing control of people in his inner circle for the very first time now over this Biden.
Well, what happened to that transparent presidency that the adults are now taking over? President Trump, one thing about him that he never backed away from his convictions. He always told the press what he believed in, and he didn't care what they thought. And this guy is a coward. A coward was undressed yesterday with that Trudeau thing. He was totally undressed, and this whole thing is blowing up big time. And I think that if he doesn't resign, I don't think anything will happen to him, because I don't think Garland pulls something off now too. Garland's the one that sent his own lawyers because he said that.
Well, remember Garland. Listen. The reason I played this clip, which I'm going to play again, of Obama about having a president he can control, that's going to be Kamala Harris. And what's going on here? Garland is the first cabinet member to drop their support of Biden by appointing the special counsel, okay? He was covering it up. Now he's no longer covering it up. Remember, Obama appointed Garland to be on the Supreme Court. They probably have promised him that President Kamala Harris will appoint him for the next vacancy when she takes over. That's probably how they got him to cooperate.
Whenever you hear the word process, folks, when you hear any of them saying process, or it's in the hands of, it's the cover-up is continuing. They got caught. They don't want to admit it, and they're panicking. Like in the walls of the White. Can you imagine being a fly on the wall in there right now? They don't. I mean, how can you send this press secretary out there and they're attacking?
Well, you know that old joke about the Lone Ranger and Tonto. The Lone Ranger and Tonto. Let me tell it, Richie, because this is what's happening. I haven't told this joke since I was like in the 3rd grade, so I'll probably mess it up. But and half the people don't know who the Lone Ranger and Tonto are, you know what I mean? Because they've wiped them out. But the Lone Ranger and Tonto, they head over a hill. They're heading north. They get over the hill, and there's hundreds and thousands of Indians coming. So then they turn to get away from the Indians, and then they go to the east, and there's more Indians coming. And so they turn and they go to the west, and they go over the hill on the west, and there's thousands of Indians. And the Lone Ranger and the Lone Ranger, what do you say? Let's go south. So they go south, and there's thousands of Indians coming from the south. And the Lone Ranger says to Tonto, what do? We're surrounded. And he says, what do you mean we, white man? Remember that old joke? It's an old joke with the Lone Ranger. Well, I know it's a long one, but it's an oldie, but a goodie. But that's what's going on now with Biden. And Jean-Pierre is the first one who's saying to Biden, what do you mean we, white man? Literally, as she throws him under the bus. And no one in the press picked up on it but me when she did that yesterday.
And you know it's going to really be good when the Republicans start attacking them in their committees. If they think it's going hard now, it's the press. But wait till the Republicans get these guys in front of them. The witnesses are going to be, this guy is going to be so embarrassed. He's going to have to resign. He has to.
Oh, yeah. Well, because Obama is forcing him into it. He's got everyone against Biden. By the way, do you remember the name of the actor who played the Lone Ranger?
Oh, I don't.
Oh my good, Clayton Moore. What about the? Okay, who played Tonto?
No, I don't know that.
Oh my God! What you're older than Jay Silverheels.
Yeah, I never paid attention to stuff like that. To me, they were always Lone Ranger and Tonto.
Yeah. Well, this is awesome. So I'll tell you though, that Jean-Pierre yesterday and that little statement, Biden is. I have never seen a White House press secretary throw their president under the bus like that before. Ever.
Listen, Brian, the day before that, the press and everyone was attacking her for being incompetent and standing up there like a joke. She was defending her honor. I don't blame her. I don't like her. But she was...
No, she wasn't defending her honor. No, she wasn't. She's trying to stay out of jail. If she doesn't want to, she doesn't want to be involved in a covering up a crime makes you an accessory to a very serious felony. She doesn't want to be an accessory to this document scandal.
She's got to watch every word she says, and I guess she's done with it at this point.
Well, she doesn't want to go to prison.
No, this is going to be. First of all, this is not such a minor thing like a lot of these stations are saying. This is a nothing gate.
Oh, it's huge.
Nothing gate, folks.
Huge.
The worst exposure of a corrupt president in the history of this country. And you want to know the truth? I believe that if they would have gone really deep, they would have found Obama was another one. Obama was just as disgusting, but they stopped short. They were in his park.
Well, no. What? Before you say your one other thing, Biden went too far. He stole these highly classified documents in his possession. Is just a bridge too far. He went over the line for even these people.
Here's the deal. I believe, and I said it last time when the election, I believe that you're going to see Michelle. If Kamala gets in, Michelle will challenge her because she can't win the vice president of the United States.
You think Michelle Obama is going to run for president in 2024?
She is the only one that could actually have a chance against any Republican nominee, because this is going to be a total disgrace for the Democratic Party.
Okay.
Disgrace.
All right, Richie, take care. We got to run for our break. He's predicting Michelle Obama will be the Democrat nominee in 2024. He's been predicting that for years, Richie. All right, we'll take our last break of the hour. There's much more to share. Your calls are welcome as well. Back after this.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
With the new year underway, it's time.
Oh, man. My halls. Hey guys, make sure you like the video and subscribe, all right? There's over 1,100 people in the chat and less than 400 likes. So guys, please like the video.
customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. You'll get a digital keypad, motion detector, 3 arm doors, and a backup battery. Plus, be one of the first 40 True Oldies listeners to call, and you'll receive a free doorbell camera that connects directly to your smartphone with the installation of your Sloman Shield. Keep your family safe. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME right now to take advantage of this limited time offer. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME. 1-800-ALARM-ME.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have.
That's correct, yeah. He did not play me in the third season.
I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
Oh, who cares about the debt ceiling right now, Mike? I'm not going to be interested in that. That's boring. Yeah, Kathy and I'll probably not podcast again today. I haven't done a podcast since Sunday because I just got to rest. Or I won't be able to do the radio show. The podcast takes about 3 hours. You know, I got to do the show prep and get ready. Got to do the show. And then after the show, I got to edit it and process the audio. Then I got to upload it to YouTube and to all the podcast platforms. The podcast takes about 3 hours from beginning till I'm done uploading it. And then I do a live premiere and I'm in the chat. So it's about 4 hours a day is how much time the podcast takes. It takes a lot of time. But we'll make it up over the weekend. If we don't do one today, I'm sure we will tomorrow, and I'll do them through the whole weekend because there's so much going on. I just have to rest a little bit. Well, thank you. But I'll probably do 4 podcasts over the weekend starting tomorrow if I don't do one today. Maybe 5. There's so much going on.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 46 years on the radio. This year, the Steve Kane Show, very, very exciting. I want to tell you guys about EET, our fence and gate repair experts. They're absolutely amazing. You know, I keep telling you guys these other companies don't do repairs, and that's just a sad reality. But EET, they do repairs. Now, if you need a new gate, if you need a new fence, they can handle that too. But they do simple repairs. Steve needed a repair on both his fencing and a gate, and the gate that he needed repaired was the gate for his pool fence. He's got little grandkids walking around. He couldn't find anyone to repair. Calling around these companies, I need a gate repaired, and we don't do repairs. Yeah, but this is the gate that goes into my pool, and like one of my little grandkids could go through it and die, drown. We don't do repairs. Teach them to swim. That's the attitude you get. EET not only did the repairs to his fence and his gate, the repairs they did on the fence of the gate match the rest of the fencing. You would not even know a repair had happened, which is what you want. It matches the rest of the fencing. It's absolutely amazing. Now, no job is too small and they don't have minimum charges, but also no job is too large. So if you need a repair on a massive gate for a community or a fence, or you need a new gate or a new fence for your home or a massive community or business, they can handle all of that. By the way, they'll beat any competitor's price. And they give free estimates. So if you have an estimate from someone else on a gate, on a fence, they will beat it. Give them a call. They do great work, and I know they've done some great work, not just for Steve, but for many people in this listening audience as well, because I've heard from some of you guys. Their number, 561-255-1170. They're also very responsive. If they don't answer the phone when you call, they'll call you right back, okay? 561-255-1170. 561-255-1170. That's for EET, our fence and gate repair experts. All right. So this is just a beautiful time. When we first started talking about this document scandal, I told you we're going to enjoy this and savor this. Someone during the break said, well, will Kevin McCarthy cave on the debt ceiling? Who cares about the debt ceiling right now? Are you kidding me? That's boring. We're not going to talk about the debt ceiling. All right? We have the biggest spy scandal in the history of the Union, probably. If it's not the biggest, it's second only to the Rosenbergs, who gave the A-bomb to the Soviet Union. Can you imagine? And other things, too. They did more than that. It's second only to that, if not greater, because we don't know what are in these documents. We know what the Rosenbergs did. So that's a hard thing to top. We have the White House press secretary throwing her president under the bus. We have the current president that he worked under, Barack Obama, trying to run him out of office and make his vice president president. This is great. This is like a soap opera-like drama, and it's very exciting, and the press are all over this. So yesterday, Biden had a little moment, you know, press supposed to be there to take pictures. They wanted to ask questions. They start shouting questions. And the NBC reporter, he gets pissed that Biden didn't respond. And he said something when the mics were on. Remember the other day on Friday's show, I was talking during the break and my mic was on. I was talking about a hot mic, and I said, you know, I assume the mics are always hot. I never say anything in a radio station that I wouldn't say on the air. Now, I might talk more casually, and if I were to talk about something, I might do it in a more professional way on the air. But you'll never hear me use any profanities in these walls of the radio station. When I get to my car, it's another deal. You'll never hear me do any gossiping or anything about anyone. I assume, I'm in a place with I don't know how many microphones. I assume every microphone is on at all times. And, you know, that's just a good rule of thumb. Well, this NBC White House correspondent, I don't know if he thinks that way, right? This is being called a hot mic moment, and it's significant because it's NBC's White House correspondent. NBC News is as liberal as it gets, people. Liberal as it gets. So again, when you have liberals talking this way, Biden's in big trouble. All right, so listen to this. So you'll hear a bunch of yelling. These are reporters yelling at Biden. He's giving them a blank stare, and then at the end, you'll hear the liberal Democrat hack NBC White House correspondent say something to another liberal jerk reporter at the White House about Biden. Listen.
Sir, why didn't you tell us?
Will you commit to speak to the special counsel?
Okay, now that's the hot mic moment hasn't happened yet. But this part here, you can tell what kind of trouble Biden's in. Every voice you hear there, except maybe one of them, is a liberal Democrat for life. Okay? And they're going nuts over this. But wait till you hear the NBC White House liberal correspondent. He's coming up.
I looked him straight in the eye and said it. He looked me back and he said a word. Will you commit to speak to the special counsel? He looked at me, didn't say a word.
Okay, so, yeah. There you have it. I feel like I'm in the room. Okay, so in case you didn't catch it at the end, the liberal Democrat hack reporter from NBC News, he says to another liberal hack reporter, I looked right in his eyes and said, will you agree to speak to the special counsel? And he didn't say a word. So now we've moved in. We have moved in since yesterday's show. Since we signed off at 9 a.m. yesterday and opened up the mic at 6 a.m. today, a lot has happened. This little piece on Obama that I uncovered. Jean-Pierre wants everyone to know she's not involved, that there is a White House cover-up that's criminal. She's not involved in it. And now liberal reporters are asking him, will you speak to the special counsel? This is so big, so huge. He is in so much trouble. His only out is to resign. And there's a lot of people around him, like Jean-Pierre, that are going to take her lead because she's the first one to do it, and because she's black and gay, you know, she can be a little bolder than some of them, but she's going to be like the Rosa Parks of the rest of the people at the White House who want to distance themselves and lead them to freedom from Biden by announcing they knew nothing about this and only first heard about it when CBS News reported it. Will you see that? The next question is, and they haven't gotten to this one yet. This question, will you agree to speak to the special counsel? That's big. The next question is going to be the old Nixon question. What did the president know and when did he know it about the classified documents? That's going to be the next one. And that's a question that these reporters fantasize about asking at a press briefing. I'm surprised no one's done it yet, because whoever does it first is going to get all kinds of attention on the internet. So I don't know if it'll be Ducey, but someone's going to ask, what did the president... Okay, we know that you didn't know about this until CBS reported it, Jean-Pierre. What did the president know, and when did he know it about these classified documents being in his garage, in his office, and in his home? That's next. Oh, it does not get better than this. All right, our number's toll-free. 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Oh, man. Now, I got some other things I'm going to get into as the show goes on, because there were some other things that happened, but I am going to recap some of what I've done in the first hour at the beginning of the second hour. I don't usually do so much recapping as I've been doing the last couple days. The reason I'm doing it is because these stories that I'm sharing with you are so big, and the rest of the media aren't covering them. They're happening on the rest of the media, but they're not putting everything together. I'm a week, 2 weeks ahead of everyone else on these stories. And it's really important, you know, to make sure that everybody in the audience hears them, because they're huge, and I want to get credit for being the first one to put all this stuff together too a little bit. Now, I've not been podcasting the last couple days because I'm under the weather. So I've been taking the advice of, well, Steve's been giving me this advice, as has my wife, to rest in the afternoons instead of podcasting. But if I don't podcast today, I'm sure I'll start up by tomorrow, and I'll have new podcast episodes throughout the entire weekend. Those of you that listen to my podcast, because there's so much happening to talk about and analyze and process and everything. So over the weekend, I'm going to have 4 or 5 podcasts drop online. So if you follow me on my podcast, I want to have a lot of podcasting going on this weekend. If I don't podcast today, which I don't think I'm going to. I might. I'll see how I feel in the afternoon. But you know how it is when you're sick, you start to feel better. Like yesterday, I feel great. So I got up and I did a few things, and then like 20 minutes later, I was like, I couldn't move. So, you know, gotta rest a little bit. But there's so much going on, and we've only just scratched the surface. Now, I do want to tell you guys that 2 nights in a row I've been sleeping on the couch because I don't want to make my wife sick. And my body is aching. And it's not aching because of this cold. It's aching because I'm sleeping without my 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper. And I'm hoping to get back in my bed real soon with my 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper, because first off, I'm waking up all night tossing and turning because I don't have this 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper that I'm so accustomed to. And my body's just feeling it. I mean, it's just, I cannot wait to get back on that 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper. Those of you that have one, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't have a mattress topper from MyPillow, get one. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener specials. They come in every mattress size, from twin all the way up to California King and Split King, in every size in between. I have a queen size bed. But it's 40% off with our promo code Kane at checkout. You can also order by phone, toll-free, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879, promo code Kane, K-A-N-E. Get that 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper. Makes a great Valentine's Day gift, too. We'll be right back after this.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 in Newtown. Programming paid for by Victor Dallas Media Group. Broadcasting from the Robe Studio. Injured recently? Call the Robes Law Group, where winning is a habit. 561-570-5700. 561-570-5700. Robes, winning for you and our community. Your home for the Steve Kane Show.
Oh, Bruce gifted some memberships. That's awesome, Bruce. Thanks. It is on. You have to allow it yourself. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. Everyone like the video. I got to recap this stuff with Obama and Jean-Pierre at the top of the hour. It's too big before I get into other stuff. I don't like doing the recapping. You know, I like to do something completely different each hour, but this is big stuff.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. PBKC is kicking off 2023 with exciting events live in the Paddock Restaurant. Make plans for dinner shows, Joey and Maria's Comedy Italian Wedding, and Chris McDonald's Memories of Elvis on Valentine's Day. Then get ready to laugh with comedians the Flynn Brothers, Andrew Dice Clay, and Joe DeVito.
Just a cold. I'll get over it. Just a bit of a cold. Sorry, guys. I got to take a bit of a break from talking during the breaks. I know you're supposed to recap all the time. I don't like to do recapping, but I only do recapping when it's like really big stuff that I want to make sure everyone hears. They love the smell of fresh donuts. One time I had Krispy Kreme when it first opened here. I ate so many Krispy Kreme donuts, I broke out in hives. I went to the dermatologist. I thought something was wrong with me. Krispy Kreme's the best. There's a Krispy Kreme donut where they make them, like a bakery down the street from the old radio station studio. That's the only thing I miss about that rundown, condemned studio. Oh, cinnamon's the best.
Here's the number, 561-743-0999. Or, even simpler, you can go to jupiterjoe.com.
But if I do 4 or 5 podcasts over the weekend, are you guys going to listen to them? To make up, there's so much going on. But I've been going to sleep the last few days, taking a nap when I get home, and then going to sleep like at 6:30, 7 o'clock this week. Okay. Okay. I'll hold you guys to that.
Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com. Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, hour number 2 has begun. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig, and just huge breaking news and brilliant analysis on the program today, if I say so myself. Callers on hold. I'm kidding. No, I'm not. Callers on hold, stand by. I want to do a quick recap of what I talked about in the first hour, because this is huge. Jean-Pierre yesterday had an amazing press conference, and I am the only one who picked up the news out of it. These reporters are in love with themselves, okay? And they're all yelling questions, but they're not listening to the answers. And, you know, and you'll hear me talk to callers like this quite often. When we have callers call in, I listen very carefully to every utterance from our callers. A lot of callers don't realize that. And you'll hear when we're talking, I'll grab on to one thing you said that you may not remember you said in a sentence, and that's what we'll end up talking. You know, the answers, what you really want to listen for. So when I'm watching a press conference for any president, I'm not listening to these jerks and their questions. I'm listening to the answers more than the questions, okay? As opposed to waiting to talk. And Jean-Pierre not only made major news yesterday that no one's reporting, she made historic news so far as the history of the White House press secretary. You know, the White House press conference, televised press conferences, are not that old. The daily press briefing being televised with the White House correspondent started with Bill Clinton, with his press secretary, Mike McCurry, during the Monica Lewinsky affair, okay? There were White House press conferences that were occasionally televised, but only if there was a major breaking news event, okay? Or you would see highlights in the news. This idea of carrying them live started with Bill Clinton, with Monica Lewinsky, because everyone wanted to ask Mike McCurry about sex. And that's when this started. But in a White House press spokesperson is supposed to, whoever they are, is there to run interference and defend the president that they're a spokesperson for. And Jean-Pierre did just the opposite yesterday. So this is how much trouble Joe Biden is in. Listen, okay, so this is a CBS reporter, and this is very important because CBS is as liberal as it gets. Remember, CBS News with Dan Rather had the forged documents that they went on the air with, claiming that George W. Bush was AWOL from the Texas Air National Guard. And, of course, Walter Cronkite with all his liberal nonsense for decades over there as well. So they're very liberal, and they're not embarrassed by it. They're proudly liberal at CBS News. So this is the CBS White House correspondent in Jean-Pierre yesterday. Listen to this.
At the time, no, I did not know. I'm saying I had the information. I actually said this to Cecilia. I had the information that you all had at the time, right? And so this is why I also said to Cecilia, this is why we are trying to be very prudent here, and we're trying to be very consistent and say this is an ongoing legal process, and this is why I say we're just not going to comment from here. That is a perfect example in Cecilia's question, and I was very clear about that.
When did you learn about the documents found at the Penn Center in November and in Wilmington in December?
When your team was doing a story on it.
Got it.
Because I was also asked a similar question about if our team has been engaged on this, and I've been very clear. This is something that the White House counsel is handling. This is something that is being handled by the president's lawyers. I've been very clear. This is why we are being prudent here. This is why we're being consistent with what we have done the last 2 years when it comes to DOJ, Department of Justice investigation. We are just not going to interfere.
Okay. So let me break this down. I know you guys are very smart and you get the whole thing, but we have some liberals in the audience who do, So let me just break down what just happened here that is historic. And the only reason she's gotten away with doing this is because she's gay, black, liberal, and no one in the press was listening to her answer and heard what she said. The CBS reporter said, "When did you find out that Joe Biden illegally had classified documents?" And she said, "I found out when you at CBS News reported it. I had no idea." Which was like, what, a week, 2 weeks ago? So we know that it happened in November. Biden's lady lawyer that was married by Obama to her husband found these documents in November. They said they told the archives and the White House. The archives called the Justice Department, the FBI in. The White House, that means Biden and his top people, Jill and whoever else, his chief of staff, the chief of staff and Jill are probably really running the country. They began a cover-up. They didn't tell Jean-Pierre about it. Jean-Pierre found out about it when you and I found out about it, when CBS reported it, and it was all over the Twitter. Okay? So Jean-Pierre is the first White House staffer to throw Joe Biden under the bus. Jean-Pierre is saying there was a cover-up. There was a cover-up of illegal activities, which is a criminal conspiracy to cover up a crime. I had nothing to do with it. I didn't know about it, and I wasn't a part of it. I found out about it when you found out about it. So she wants everyone to know that she didn't know about the crime and she was not involved in a cover-up. Very historic. A White House press spokesperson has never done something like this before. But she's the first White House official, and she's a senior management person. She runs the entire press office. It's a big deal. It's in the West Wing. It's a big deal job she's got. She is the first person inside the Biden White House to say there was a cover-up. She didn't take part in it, and she wants everyone to know she didn't do any crime and that crimes took place. That's what she's saying there. It's absolutely amazing. It was on TV yesterday. I saw it live, laying on my couch, coughing. I was watching it. This was a great week for me to be sick because I would not normally watch these in their entirety. And I did this week because, well, I'm not getting around too well. So this cold this week really is a blessing because I would not have picked up on this. If I had not seen that live, I would not have known about it. Because no one's highlighting this. But they will. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Mike.
Hey.
Yes. Hey.
Yeah, who's going to be next to drop Obama? To drop
Biden? Well, I don't know. What's going to happen is we got to see. We're going to be on a watch. Who's going to come out and let everybody know they didn't do any crime by being involved in a cover-up? And then when at some point we're going to say, well, wait a minute, this person hasn't distanced themselves yet. They must have been part of the crime.
Right. And will this lawyer that's connected, that is now his personal lawyer that was in the counsel's office, drop it?
Oh, this is huge, man. This is such big news. This little moment that I've shared with Jean-Pierre is historic, and it's huge. Look who he's lost, right? He's lost his attorney general. His own personal lawyer's working for Obama, we find out. We did that yesterday, the lady lawyer. Ilhan Omar dropped Biden. Adam Schiff, who has no moral code, he's jumped ship like a rat. He's thrown Biden under the bus. And now Jean-Pierre. But Jean-Pierre is the first person inside the White House in the Biden inner circle who wants everyone to know. She went out of her way to get it out there on the record that she did not know about any crimes committed, and she was not involved in a cover-up. I want everybody to know I didn't know, and I wasn't involved in a criminal cover-up. I found out when you reported it. You knew before me, Jean-Pierre said. Yeah, so that's huge.
That's huge. And look, the question of who's next. I mean, you know, I put about what might happen. You know, I mean, when somebody like, say, Chuck Schumer leaves him, that's going to be big too. You know.
Oh yeah, they're all big. But well, Jean-Pierre though is bigger than Schumer because she works in the White House with him. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you know, so if I'm asking a question today, Mike, you know, my question is, hey Jean-Pierre, the first black immigrant lesbian White House press spokesperson that you are, you did not know. You found out when CBS knew. What about other people in the White House? When did this person know? When did this other person know? Can you get them out here? We need to find out who knew and who was involved in this cover-up. Because they say it was reported by the Justice Department that the White House was informed when the documents were found by the Biden lawyer. So who knew at the White House? You didn't know, but who did?
You know, I think I'm going to make a prediction here, and the next person will be, because he thinks he wants to be president, the next person that's going to come out against it is probably going to be Mayor Pete.
Oh, yeah, Mayor Pete, yeah, because he wants to be Kamala's vice president. All right, Mike, I got to run for a break. Thanks for the call. If you're on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig, back after this.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig on Oldies 95.9 and 106.9. Bergman Jewelers, located within the Alton Town Center in Palm Beach Gardens, has been a top buyer of estate jewelry for 45 years. Ray Bergman is highly respected for his expertise in fine jewelry and always offers top prices for classic, one-of-a-kind, or designer pieces. Whether you're looking to buy or sell, Bergman Jewelers is always honest and professional. Bergman Jewelers offers an exquisite selection of new pieces, modern and vintage. Are you in search of that one-of-a-kind piece? They can design it for you. Bergman buys fine watches like Cartier, Patek Philippe, and many others. Do you find that you're no longer using certain pieces? Take them to Bergman Jewelers for a top offer. Bergman Jewelers pays the highest premiums. Bergman Jewelers buys gold, silver, GIA certified diamonds, watches, and jewelry. Located at 53
Oh, yeah. Whose attorneys clean the closets for them? Criminals. Criminals have criminal attorneys clean their closets for them. I used to work, when I was younger, I used to work as a courier for a criminal attorney. And one of the jobs I had to do is I would go to the evidence lockup for the police departments, like when a case was over, and I'd pick up the evidence. That when they were giving it back to the client, oh my gosh. I meant some shady people doing it. I didn't do that job for long. It was too shady. And these were like really dirty people. I remember, this is when I stopped. No, I'm not going to tell you. I can't tell you because there's client confidentiality still, even though it was 100 years ago, and all those people are probably in jail. But criminal defense attorneys are sleazy as it gets, and the clients are sleazy, and they think the cops are bad guys.
1977. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All righty, we are back. Callers on hold, stand by. You know, we're 10 days away from our Steve Kane 2023 MAGA cruise, and I know a lot of you are wondering if Biden resigns, if there's like huge news and you guys are on the cruise, what are you going to do? I'm bringing with me microphones and everything, okay? We can connect to the radio station, maybe even only by telephone. If something big happens, and even though I may be hungover, I will be on the air. I'll call the radio station, okay? We'll be on the air from the Caribbean. That's right, if we need to be. Because it could happen. It could happen. Some people have said, how can you take a cruise right now? There's so much news. There's so much news happening every week. If that was our standard, we'd never, who would have predicted this? But, the cruise is 10 days away, and Steve, we were really concerned about it for a while because of Steve's neuropathy. Steve's neuropathy had every neuropathy symptom there is. Muscle weakness, dizziness, that torturous pins and needles feeling in the hands and the feet and everything. And Steve was really concerned, how am I going to go on a cruise ship for a week with all this dizziness going on and everything else? Yeah, well, we found Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano. Lighthouse Medical Center has been in practice for 50 years with the same family. And that's very important because a lot of, I don't want people, when we say they've been in practice 50 years, I don't want you to think that the original owners sold this practice to someone long ago. No, it's the same family for 50 years in Pompano. They're a founding family of Broward County, and I believe they're probably the oldest medical practice in the county with the same family. There's no way. There's no way that with the same family, Well, not only do they have a treatment for neuropathy, they have a treatment that works. I know it works because I've seen it work on Steve Kane. And I've talked to many of our listeners who have had the same experience. If you're suffering from neuropathy, those symptoms, your doctors have told you that is your life moving forward. That is not true. Call Lighthouse Medical Center. Now listen, if you can't make it to Pompano, call them anyway. If you're out of town, they can help you. We have listeners that travel very far to go to Lighthouse Medical for this treatment because doctors tell you there's nothing that can be done. That is not true. Give them a call. Make sure you mention you heard about them on the radio so you can take advantage of their no-charge consultation. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. Online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. All right, let's go to our phones. 888-GO-KANE1 is the number. We'll be there. We go. Line 2. You're on the air. Good morning. Now, here we go. Yes, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Andy. I'm calling from Fort Lauderdale.
Hey, Andy.
Hey, yeah, I was calling about the Kareem Jean-Pierre story. I don't know if you guys watched the show. It's an hilarious show.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, Elaine from Seinfeld. Yeah, with Elaine from Seinfeld.
Correct. There was an episode regarding this where Mike McClintock basically wanted to be out of the loop of everything because there was a cover-up going on. So yesterday when she said that, which, thank you for telling me because I didn't see that yesterday, she made a very big mistake. Well, actually, CBS just had a very good question. So if it is true that she didn't know, they were purposely keeping her out of the loop so she couldn't speak about it to the press. And if she did know, then she was lying. So either way, this was a cover-up. That line yesterday during the press briefing does prove that.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, a cover-up makes you a conspirator. You're an accessory to a crime.
Exactly. So in this episode, it's called First Response. It's very brilliant. The press secretary basically walks around knowing something's going on and just covers his ears because he says knowledge is the death of him because he always has to go on.
Well, do you think that McEnany and Sarah Huckabee had to cover their ears up when they were Trump's White House press secretary? I don't think so.
I don't think so. There, honestly, when I see Trump, I see his mouth being so loud. I mean, he was a very unique guy. I don't see. I mean, we've already seen now, years later, that all these stories with Russia and everything that they tried to get him with, everything they were refuting at the time, which seemed like a lie, obviously now is the truth. So I really don't think so. But I will say that with this story, because of the midterms, had they released it prior, then it might be a little different. Because they did not, it screams something. And it's also very weird that lawyers would be going into someone's house 3 years later. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The only lawyers that go through closets are criminal lawyers with criminal clients that are trying to cover up criminal activity, and they can keep it secret because of the client-lawyer privilege.
Yes, and they actually did another part of this on Veep, which you might find funny, is that Selena Meyer
Guy's
goes
obsessed
to
with
write
Veep.
a memoir,
That's okay.
right? And she doesn't have any classified documents of when she was vice president, so she has Mike McClintock, who is her press secretary, follow her around.
Who's the actress that plays Elaine on Seinfeld? Do you remember her name? Julie Louis-Dreyfus.
Because he keeps notes of everything that she did.
Yeah.
Without any documents. So the memoir excuse is also ridiculous because first a vice president can't have classified documents. So I mean, it really doesn't matter. He wasn't allowed to have them.
That's true. That's true. He's a criminal. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you a quick, because I'm up against the break. I'll tell you a quick thing about Julie Louis-Dreyfus. You know, she's very funny and very talented. I don't want to take anything away from her, and I love Seinfeld. I've seen Veep. It's very funny. But she's not just some girl who made it and got on Saturday Night Live and became a big star. You know, her father is a multi-billionaire with a big B. And a lot of people don't know that.
A random thing about Veep is that they're Democrats.
Well, of course, all the billionaires are, unless their name's Trump. But yeah. Oh, in the show. Okay. All right. Hey, listen. I got to run. Okay. Take care. The guy's obsessed with Veep. The guy is obsessed with Veep. So Julie Louis-Dreyfus, she's very talented. She's very funny. But her daddy bought her way in. Give me a break. And wouldn't you think? Have you seen her husband? He used to be on Saturday Night Live too. I don't know his name. They just had an anniversary. I saw them online. You would think, since she's a billionaireess, like Ivanka Trump, she'd have a better looking husband, wouldn't you think, than this guy? She married a writer. Means a bum, and he's not even a good looking guy. Anyway, listen, we'll take our break. We'll be back.
Making morning radio.
Brad Hall, yeah. Yeah, that's the husband, Brad Hall. Oh yeah, she's a billionaire without any Seinfeld. She doesn't need the Seinfeld money. The Seinfeld money is just her spa money for the weekend to get her hair done. Okay. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. She's a great, yeah, Elaine's a great, Elaine and I have the same dance moves. Oh, Seinfeld is brilliant. I love the the Larry David season where they did the Seinfeld reunion. Do you remember that? And I'll tell you, that last episode of Seinfeld was sucked when it came out. But when you watch it now, it's funny, isn't it? Don't you guys think? When it first came out, the Seinfeld final episode in '97, it was so disappointing, but now I like it. My favorite Seinfeld episode is when Kramer has the Merv Griffin set at the house. That's my favorite one. Oh, look, Jerry's. Seinfeld's come by, you know, or oh, Elaine Bittis. That's my favorite, I think. It's hard to pick a favorite. What's your favorite Seinfeld? The Merv Griffin set's hilarious. Hey, Lori. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe, because I'm under the weather. I'm not talking too much during the breaks, guys. I'm sorry. Hey, Debbie. Welcome. When he has the big red light, is that the Kenny Rogers Chicken episode? Yeah, get that right. Jason Alexander's parents, they're dead now, but they lived here. They listened to the show and called in regularly many years ago. They're long dead. They lived in Broward County. Cannot remember their names. We didn't tell people, but they did. You know who else used to call in and listen? Who's the actress on Big Bang Theory? What's her name? Balak? You know what I'm talking about? The actress. She used to be Blossom. Her grandmother used to listen and call. Went to our personal appearances. Everyone retires to Florida, you know. It's amazing who listens. Yeah. Not her grandmother. Mm-hmm. Oh, I know for a fact Donald Trump's listened. Absolutely. You kidding me? I wish he'd call in. Chronic Don from Mar-a-Lago. That'd be awesome. All right, welcome back. I'm Brian, Steve Kane joining us. Hey, Steve. No, I feel rotten. I'm getting worse as the show goes on. But I'm at the halfway point. Well, only if I can give it to you through the microphone and radio airwaves, you know. But, you know, I'm starting to run out of gas. But we're halfway through, so, you know.
The Supreme Court. Merrick Garland couldn't get himself appointed dog catcher.
Oh, no. I'm not talking about I'm talking about in his. Okay, let me do a recap. There's a lot happening here, okay? And I've gone through a lot, and I started at 6 with it, but let me go through this again, okay? Now, yeah, because we got huge stuff, and there's more liberals have dropped by, and I haven't even gotten to all of it yet. But yesterday, I was talking about how Obama is behind this whole outing of this scandal, right? Biden's lawyer is an Obama person. The attorney general's an Obama person. They're all Obama people. And I found a clip. A listener sent me a clip. It's from an old interview that Obama did at the end of his second non-eventful term. And they had asked him if he wishes he could have a third term. And this is what Obama said. Listen to this.
You know now, do you wish like you had a third term? And I used to say, you know what, if I could make an arrangement where I had a stand-in, a front man or front woman, and they had an earpiece in, and I was just in my basement in my sweats, looking through stuff, but I could sort of deliver the lines, but somebody else was doing all the talking and ceremony. I'd be fine with that.
Okay, so I remember when Obama said that, and we kind of made fun of it at the time, and he's had that with Joe Biden, but Joe Biden screwed up. He's got these classified documents that he stole from Obama's White House, okay? So all these people around Biden that are making this public and doing the investigation are all Obama people. And the other thing I was talking about yesterday, you know, Kamala Harris is vice president because of Obama. The Bidens hate her. She called him out, rightly so, as a racist segregationist who thought white kids should not have to sit next to black kids in school with Joe Biden. Remember the first debate the Democrats had? She won the debate, humiliated Biden, and in the second debate, they brought in Tulsi Gabbard to humiliate Kamala, then she dropped out. But Jill Biden, after that debate, went through the roof. She was heard backstage just saying terrible things, all true probably, about Kamala Harris. So it's been rumored for years that Kamala had an affair with Obama. I don't know if that's true, but I do know they have a relationship. I've seen them together, and they've got chemistry. If they've not had an affair, they've had thoughts of it. They have chemistry together, and it is true that Obama. Well, this was years ago when he was president, but it is true that Obama got Biden to pick the woman that he hates, the woman that his wife hates, Kamala Harris, to be his vice president. So Joe Biden's going to resign. Kamala's going to be the vice president. And as incompetent, as stupid as we know she is, Obama will be able to control her like he's talking about here. And what I'm telling you they've done, I'm not saying this is a reality, but this is their reality. And I believe they've told Garland. Remember, Obama appointed him to the Supreme Court. Republicans wouldn't have the hearing, so it never happened. He's plenty ticked about that. I believe Obama and his people have told Garland that President Kamala Harris will nominate him for the Supreme Court for the next vacancy.
Stupid.
Yes, he is. He's stupid, and he's consumed with rage. He's stupid. Steve, he signed off on the break-in in Mar-a-Lago and appointed a special counsel in the Trump when he knew about these documents that Biden had. He is stupid, okay? And he wants to be on the Supreme Court like nobody's business. And they're promising him that President Harris will do it. I'm not saying he'd get approved, Steve. I'm saying that they've told him, and he believes it, that President Kamala Harris will appoint him. He believes it. That's why he's cooperating to get Biden to resign, okay, which is going to happen. So Obama is behind everything. So I've been playing this clip that, and I'll play it again later, but of Jean-Pierre has thrown Biden under the bus. She's announced she's got nothing to do with it. She was not involved in the criminal cover-up. She only found out about the crimes when it was reported. That's historic. So we have the first White House official distancing themselves from Biden, telling us there was a criminal conspiracy and they were not a part of it. This is huge. The Coven of the View yesterday, they're starting to turn on Biden too. This is who he's lost. He's lost Jean-Pierre, Ilhan Omar, Merrick Garland, Schiff, and now the Coven of the View yesterday. This is Joy Behar, who's starting to distance herself from Biden and his crimes.
What would have been helpful for Joe Biden when it first came out to say, and we have tape of Joe Biden saying that Trump did something stupid and shouldn't have done it and it was bad. Well, he should have said, look, I know I look hypocritical in that tape. Yeah. I'm sorry about that. I didn't know about this, and now that I know it, I will do what I can to uncover this. I mean, he should be speaking to the American people, or else just act like a Republican and say it's a witch hunt.
Okay. Now, this is a little more mild than some of the others, but this is the first time that the Coven of the View, and if you don't get that, Google Coven. When you find out what a coven is, you'll get a chuckle, okay? This is the first time that the View have said, you know what, he did something wrong here. They've been defending, he did nothing wrong, and now they're saying he did something wrong and he's got to admit. He is losing the support of the most prominent liberal voices in America, Biden, and there's a new one or two each and every day that this story is out there. So he's in big trouble. It's not whether or not he will resign, it's when at this point. Hopefully not the week we're on the cruise, the week after, but it's going to happen.
It could happen very quickly. There's no.
It could happen today. I mean, it's getting worse for him each and every day. And the press, I have a montage here of the media. Let me pull this up. Hold on. Where is this? Okay. This is a montage of the White House press briefing. I'm not going to play all of it because we're only here till 9. But you got to understand something. When you hear these reporters yelling, almost 99% of them are liberal Democrats. The White House press corps is in the business of covering up Democrat presidential scandals, not asking questions, not getting to the bottom of them, not being they're in the business of deflecting and covering them up. And this is a montage yesterday of the White House press briefing, which shows you, again, how much more trouble Biden is in than you realize.
Friday, you stood here, though, and were asked about the documents issued by our counsel 18 times. At that point, the president's lawyers had found these 5 additional pages of classified documents. So did you not know on Friday that those documents had been found when you
Okay, now, this is amazing. So you said 18 times. You were asked 18 times. This is the 5 found over the weekend. When did you know? Did you not know there were more documents? Did you lie to us?
at the podium, or are you being directed by someone to not be forthcoming on this issue?
I have been forthcoming from this podium.
Did you not know that?
I'm telling you, I just answered the question.
The White House says Republicans are faking outrage on this issue. Why shouldn't Americans be outraged about classified documents being found in a garage?
Sorry if I missed it, but on Friday, did you or did you not know about the additional 5 pages?
Every one of these reporters is a liberal Democrat who's asking about the Biden crimes.
Just answer that question.
But I missed it, so is it yes or no?
Well, I mean, you're not too far sitting next to her, so I was very clear. I provided the information that you all had at the time. No, I did not know. I'm saying I had the information. I actually said this to Cecilia. I had the information that you all had at the time.
When did you learn about the documents found at the Penn Center in November and in Wilmington in December?
When your team was doing a story on it.
You've repeatedly emphasized the need, just as you did today, for independence, for integrity of the Department of Justice investigation. One reason why you continue to point us to the DOJ. So I wonder why then did the White House counsel go to Wilmington to facilitate the handing over of documents to the DOJ?
That is
How is that separate?
That is
separating the White House from the DOJ.
And I appreciate the question.
Are you upset that you came out to this podium on Friday with incomplete and inaccurate information?
No, I mean, it goes on. That's only part of it. This is just yesterday. Every person, there were no doocies there. Every person there is a liberal Democrat fake news hack, and they're all over this story with Biden. He has in fact, there hasn't been anyone who's supported Biden except Whoopi Goldberg mildly on The View because she's too stupid to know what's going on. But everything else, everyone else, top Democrats, members of Congress, Ilhan Omar, Adam Schiff, the Attorney General, Jean-Pierre, his own spokesperson, the entire White House liberal press corps, they're all against Biden now. All of them. Not one of them is doing anything but throwing him under the bus. Never seen anything like this, Steve. And things are far worse for Biden than is being reported, if you just really pay attention to the tone of all of these people. All right, now listen, we're going to take our last break of the hour. When we come back, we'll take some calls, and there's more to share. But we're living through history right now. We're living through history. The last time we were in a state like this was the lead up before the resignation of Richard Nixon during the Watergate. We are in the darkest days of the Biden presidency right now. It's just not raining, but it'll be raining soon, probably up there. All right, we'll take our break and be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on the Steve Kane Show.
Oh, he didn't answer?
I realize it's Wednesday.
Oh.
confused as I was. It's like, it's not that. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's only Wednesday. I'm like, on a day off. You didn't sound bad.
Wow, Bruce, that's awesome. Thanks for doing that, Bruce. Now, those of you that got those, make sure you use all those emojis. If you got one of those memberships he gifted, show the emoji so we know who got them. Oh, yeah. These are the last days of the Biden regime, that's for sure. This charger's not bad. I'm up to 30% now, so, and I've been using it too, so the whole time. Yeah, I'd be in trouble.
Mexican restaurant for 33 years. Come on in for a delicious taco salad, steak quesadilla, or a cold margarita. La Bamba is located at 730 US Highway 1 in North Palm Beach. Check out labamba123.com. Have you put off buying new tires because you thought they were too expensive? Find friendly prices at Friendly Tire and Margate on both new and used tires. New tires as low as $70 a tire. That's out the door and on the road because Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance the tire or mount the tire. They have thousands of used tires in stock too, starting at just $30. Call for a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. You might have COVID. Have you come to the traveling and need a COVID test? Same-day PCR testing is available at any lab test now at Boca in the Plaza.
This story, oh yeah, this is huge, huge. Nope, caught me off guard. We're back. All right, we are back. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here. Our number one, 888-GO-KANE-1. Have you seen this story, Steve, out of Minnesota about the schools? Oh, my goodness. Okay. Civil rights have gone into a whole new area. You went to school, actually, when you were young, when you first started school in Florida, you went to a segregated school. It was all white, right? I don't know. Here in Miami, you went to Nautilus Middle School. Yeah, it was all white. Now it's you could argue it's still segregated in reverse right now. It was all white when you were there, but it's the reverse of that now. But you know, and I didn't go to a segregated school when I first moved to Florida, but the first school I went to in Florida was in Okeechobee, Florida. I lived there for a couple years. And I went there in 5th grade, and everyone in town called it the Colored High School. I don't remember what the name of the school was. I only went there 1 year, but they called it the Colored High School because that used to be the black high school. And it was so recent that everybody in town still remembered it. And, you know, equity used to involve, you know, the integration of the schools. Well, Minnesota is pretty liberal. And there's a new equity fight. And what I'm about to share with you, this is not a parody, this is not a joke, this is real. Menstrual equity is being advocated in the public schools of Minnesota. And there's a press release. Listen to this, Steve. I'm not making this up. This is true. Did you know? I can't believe I'm reading this. I feel like sometimes like I'm high, or I'm a man from another time. Like I'm Austin Powers, that I've just been thawed out or something from a past world. Listen to this. In Minnesota, did you know that 1 in 5 teen boys say they cannot afford period products? Period products. Tampons and maxi pads, Steve. 20% of boys in Minnesota cannot afford tampons or maxi pads.
Tampons for?
Hell if I know, Steve. Well, so I found a. Well, hey, you think you're confused? You're not a boy looking to buy tampons for yourself, okay? Imagine. So I have a piece of audio here. This is a lady state representative in Minnesota talking about a new budget bill they passed so that the boys' room will have those machines that have tampons sold in them. Okay, listen to this. I know. It's crazy.
Tampon.
I don't know. Let me just play the clip, Steve. Let me play the clip.
A lot of options.
Now this is. I'm not. Yeah. No. This is a lady Democrat. She's a state rep in Minnesota. They're passing a budget bill so that they can have tampon machines in the. Now I remember when I was a kid, Motley Crue had a song "Smoking in the Boys' Room." Now they got tampons in the boys' room. At least they will in Minnesota. Listen to this. This is a Democrat elected official, a state rep. Crazy.
First, there are a lot of schools that are moving towards gender-neutral bathrooms.
Gender-neutral bathrooms. Let me tell you, when I was in high school, I was a bit of a smarty pants, okay? I was a smart aleck kid, in trouble all the time. And I could just imagine, I know what I would be doing, right? The hot girls go into the girls' room. All of a sudden, I'm going to identify as a girl. So I can go in there too, into this new policy. I mean, come on.
First, there are a lot of schools that are moving towards gender-neutral bathrooms. And if we add female, we might become obsolete very quickly. Second, not all students who menstruate are female.
Not all students who menstruate are female, she said.
Become obsolete very quickly. Second, not all students who menstruate are female. We need to make sure that all students have access to these products. There are obviously less non-female menstruating students, and therefore their usage will be much lower. And that was actually calculated into the cost of this and how much we decided to fund it. And so we do not expect that the non-female menstruating students will use
non-female
these products
menstruating
as much as the students using female bathrooms, but it's important to have them there. And that brings me to just the social emotional reasons for that. These students who are not female, who menstruate, face a greater stigma and barrier to asking for these products. And so providing them in an easily accessible place in all student bathrooms is particularly important for those students.
Yes, menstruating male students. Ministrating males. I remember when I was in elementary school, 4th or 5th grade, they took all the girls out of class to talk about their periods, to tell them about their periods. Now, we didn't know what they were doing. They took the girls out of class. They had a special girls thing, like workshop. They came back and they weren't allowed to tell us what they talked about. But now, looking back, they were learning about their periods. But now they would do that with the whole class, because you very well could be a male, you could be a boy who gets your period. So you boys have to learn. What are they doing, man? Can you believe? This is insanity.
They're self-destructing.
The
thing I always talk about is getting further out and further out and further out until it just blows up.
What's crazy is, Richard Speck, okay, was a serial killer who killed nurses. He had a thing for nurses back in the days when nurses wore those nurses' uniforms, the white tight dresses that were made of polyester, right? And he was in prison for life, Richard Speck, because he was a serial killer of nurses who got caught. And he got in the 90s, he made it in the news again because some video of him inside prison, remember he was taking female hormones and had breasts? And he was sitting there, Richard Speck was sitting there topless, like looking like Dolly Parton or Pamela Anderson with his prison boyfriend. And people were like, how could this guy have hormone treatments in prison? This shouldn't be allowed. It was a very controversial thing at the time. That's what Richard Speck is now the norm. You know, I mean, we're in a whole new world. When they had the LGBT gay clubs in the schools, you know, Christians were advocates all over this country against them. And they told us, if you allow these LGBT, this is before they added the Q, to clubs, to schools, this is going to happen. That's going to happen. Next 5 years, the wildest predictions of Pat Robertson are like 5 years ago. The wildest predictions that they said would become norm when gay rights were achieved were beyond that. These are things that even Pat Robertson, 700 Club, and the Christian Coalition never fathomed.
Those that were considered to be homophobic.
That's correct. Correct. And it's crazy town what's going on. But I do want to tell you this, and you guys know this, but a lot of people don't want to admit this. Diets don't work. You know, everyone's on a diet now, right? We just got through the holiday period. Everyone's on a diet. Diets do not work. Come on. You know they don't work. You know they don't work. Plus you torture yourself, right? You starve yourself, you're exercising. If you're lucky enough to lose some weight, you know you're going to gain it back. That's just the way it is. All right? Stop all that torture and the diets that don't work. Any lab test now of DOCU, which, by the way, gave me the COVID flu test this week, and I am COVID-free. This is just cold, guys. Don't have a flu either. They've expanded next door to Forever Youth. And they have an incredible offer on their Cool Sculpting Elite FDA-approved procedure. This is a non-invasive procedure. There's no downtime, and it's completely painless. And it does everything liposuction does without that invasive, violent procedure. It freezes away your fat cells. You know, you only have a certain number of fat cells in your body your whole life, and once they're gone, they're gone. Liposuction, it's a very, very invasive, very intense surgical procedure where they vacuum out the fat cell. Oh my goodness, it's brutal. Cool Sculpting Elite is painless, it's non-invasive, it freezes away the fat cells, and then it sculpts the part of the body they're treating to be in the shape and the look that you want it to be in. It works on all areas of the body too. Your stomach, the love handles, your neck if you have a double chin or a whole bunch of chins, or if you haven't seen your neck in 20 years, the back, your legs, the back of your arms. It works on all those areas. But right now, they are offering Cool Sculpting Elite, Forever Youth. They're offering it to Steve Kane listeners only, 50% off. So you got to mention you heard about them on the radio, 50% off. Give them a call, 561-717-8081. 561-717-8081. Good morning, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, hi, it's Sandra from Boca. Hello.
Hey, Sandra.
Listen, I just heard your conversation with Steve, and I don't consider myself to be an ignorant person, but how are boys menstruating?
They're not.
They're not. Okay.
They're girls. They're girls who are saying they're boys.
Oh, now I understand what you're saying.
Oh, okay, okay.
Now it's all perfectly clear.
I know, it's hard to believe. That's shocking. Yeah.
Well, yesterday, it's kind of funny because, like I said, I got nothing against anything, but yesterday I went to go get blood work done. And they said, okay, you have to fill this stuff out for us. The usual stuff. And I sat down, and the questions were unlike anything that I've ever experienced.
Give me we're almost out of time for the hour, so give the example of the most outrageous question you remember.
Well, it just said, what do you identify yourself as?
Oh my goodness.
It
It didn't say male or female. It said, what do you identify as?
Yes. Look, that's fine. That's fine. fine. What everybody wants to do, they can do. But I'm thinking, what does it have to do with my medical?
Yeah, if you're having a medical procedure done, they need to know whether you're a boy or a girl, not what you want to be. All right. Hey, listen, thanks for the call. Oh my goodness. All right, it's the top of the hour. We'll be right back.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Broadcasting from the Robe Studio. Injured recently? Call the Robes Law Group, where winning is a habit. 561-570-5700. 561-570-5700. Robes, winning for you and our community. Your home for the Steve Kane Show. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the oldies forecast.
Good morning, everybody. Hope you're off to a great start. Temperatures a bit milder this morning and this afternoon. We're going to be above the average high for this time of the year.
Oh, man. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. There's over 1,200 people in the chat and less than 700 likes. So if you guys could like the video, it would help me out a lot.
Brought to you by Palm Beach.
Oh my goodness. Crazy. Crazy, crazy.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. PBKC is kicking off 2023 with exciting events live in the Paddock Restaurant. Make plans for dinner shows, Joey and Maria's Comedy Italian Wedding, Chris McDonald's Memories of Elvis on Valentine's Day. Then get ready to laugh with comedians.
Oh boy. It's long gone, Lisa. Long gone. Nope. I don't know. Do I sound sick? Let me know if you guys think I sound sick. Because I can't tell if I sound sick or not. Fine, I sound normal, like me? Okay. Sound better than yesterday. Wow. Do not sound sick. Okay. I usually don't whine about it so much when I'm sick on the air. I just have been this week. Because I know I don't like listening. I hear people on the radio that are sick as hell, and I hate listening to sick people on the air. But this week, I just, like I said, I would have probably taken yesterday off and maybe today if we weren't taking a week off for the cruise. But like I said, I'll probably skip a podcast today too and get back to podcasting tomorrow and do a whole bunch over the weekend. The one thing I'm doing I never do when I'm sick, I've been doing this week, is rest. Really, my face has more color and not as pale as yesterday. Okay. So I'm less white today. I'm not going to broadcast from this ship unless Biden resigns. But Kathy and I haven't been in the same room all week. I've been sleeping on the couch, and we've been staying at opposite ends of the house. Only when I raise my voice, I've been sleeping elevated. I've been elevating myself with my My Pillow Giza Elegance pillows. Mucinex. And Mucinex makes me like tired and drugged up. I've just been taking the Dayquil. And the Halls. I got a pocket full of Halls. All right, here we go.
Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, welcome back. I'm Brian. Steve is here. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. There's only one opening on our board at 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. And a lot of breaking news we've broken on the program. But before I do any recapping or bring up anything new, let's take a call or two. You with us, Steve? Okay, I want to make sure you're there. All right, let's take a call or two, and then we'll do some recapping and bring up some new stuff. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Helen from Kansas.
Hey, Helen.
Hi. Well, Psalms 37, verses 12 and 13. The wicked plotteth against the just, and gnasheth upon him with his teeth. 13. The Lord shall laugh at him, the wicked, for he, the Lord, seeth his day coming, is coming. The Lord gets the last laugh.
Okay. All right. I get what you're saying. All right, Helen, thanks for the call. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian and Steve. It's Andrew.
Oh, hey, Andrew.
Hey, Andrea.
So I have so many questions about these feminine products in the boys' room. My questions would be, of the 20% of boys that need feminine products, how many of those boys come from single mother households? My other question would be...
Well, before you get to the, slow down for a second here, okay? And you ask a good question. About 20 years ago, Rosie O'Donnell, maybe even a little less than that, Rosie O'Donnell made a documentary on a gay cruise that she did, a gay family cruise. It was on HBO. And our cruise is not a gay cruise, by the way. It's a MAGA cruise. But she did it was a documentary on HBO it was a gay family cruise where gays came and they brought their kids. And they interviewed in this documentary that Rosie O'Donnell, and this is when Rosie O'Donnell was a big star. You know, she had her TV show, and it was a long time ago before she went on The View and destroyed her career. But they interviewed this girl who had two moms, and the girl was a teenager. And this was in the HBO Rosie O'Donnell Gay Cruise documentary. I'm sure you guys can find it online and watch this for yourself. And I remember this like it was yesterday. They interview this girl. She's a teenage girl. She's got two moms, right, that are married at the time. You know, I've got more than two moms because my dad's been married like 8 times. These aren't stepmoms. These two women raised her. And she told a story that the moms thought was cute and that Rosie O'Donnell and the people that made this documentary thought was cute, funny, and normal and didn't edit it out. So this girl, she says, when I was a little girl, I had a nightmare. And I woke up, my moms, plural, right? Not like in the south side of Chicago, moms, like two mothers, right? And she said, I had this nightmare. I woke up and I thought something was wrong with me. This is in the documentary. You guys can go and look it up. She said, I told my moms I had a dream and I thought something was wrong with me. I had a dream that I was kissing a boy. And her moms told her that, you know, some people like, you know, some girls like boys and some girls like girls. And they just thought it was cute and funny. And this girl had no idea what normal was, because she was being raised by two lesbians in a gay world where all their friends were gay. And she should be dreaming about boys, right? She had no heterosexual role models in her life, because gay people hang around with gay people. And so here we are 20 years later, and that's why they have tampons and maxi pads in the boys' room. A lot of these children are raised by gay parents, like Mayor Pete and his husband, and there's just a lot of these kids don't know what the world's really about, what's normal, what's not normal, or anything.
I was curious to see, like, what percentage come from gay homes, what percentage come from single mom homes, but, you know, where's the church? Where's the feminist? That's what I was...
Well, the feminists are usually with their wife these days, because they're gay. Most feminists are gay. That's why they're feminist. They hate men. Yeah, but that's you know, I'm not anti-gay and I'm not against gay rights or any of that stuff. But a lot of this is happening because gays are having children and raising children in a gay world. You know, in the radio business, believe it, there's a lot of gay people in the radio business. Steve will tell you, because it's part of show business. And gay people hang out with other gay people. So when they have kids, their kids are only around gay people. So that's their role models. That's how they learn how life is.
It's baffling to me. It's baffling to me that Americans have not stepped up and just, like, hard stop. Nope. But you get what you tolerate.
Yep.
Before I let you go, try to eat some fresh pineapple. That'll help your throat, and drink some nice hot black tea with honey and maybe a shot of whiskey in it.
Whiskey. We can't go wrong with whiskey. All right. All right. Take care, Andre. Appreciate it. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. We're 10 days away from the cruise, Steve. 10 days.
Yep.
I can't wait. I'm excited, too. It's our, you know, this is our first cruise. Our last cruise, because of COVID, shut down cruises. And we were going to go a year ago, and then they had that big COVID outbreak. I forgot. What did they call Omicron? The Omicron happened, so we had to cancel the one last year. We haven't had a cruise since 2019, and it's now 2023. It's been like 2.5, 3 years. That's a long time without a vacation, but we're going to have one, and it's going to be exciting. We're going to take our first break of the last hour. If you're on hold, stand by. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. I got one new piece that I want to share with you guys before we do some recapping, because this story I broke on Jean-Pierre today I think is huge. So I want to make sure we get that out in the last hour, again, because it's that big and no one in the media is picking up on it. But our number is toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are listening to us. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane is here. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll be back right after this break.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-CANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig on Oldies 95.9 and 106.9.
Hey, how you doing? It's Uncle Eddie from Uncle Eddie's Restaurant in Jupiter. Season is here. Now it's time to eat real, authentic Italian food. The key to a great restaurant is consistency. That's what I provide. Every other place is cooks come and go every year, but at Uncle Eddie's, the chefs are trained by me, and they follow all my recipes. No matter who's cooking.
Starting to run out of gas. Oh, yeah. Well, if the press were to listen to this show, it would be a really good press conference. When is, you know, did Steven Spielberg direct this new Indiana Jones? Does anyone know? This new Indiana Jones movie that's coming out. Did Spielberg direct that?
Brian Craig here with a question for seniors and those who care about them. How would you like to have instant
Does anyone know?
access to a healthcare advocate at the touch of a button? Would that
Or does he have a movie out now?
You can with I Will Advocates. I Will Advocates will help you set up doctor's appointments, help with your pharmacy, even deal with your pharmacist to make sure that you have your prescriptions. They'll help you find a doctor, including a specialist. If you've been billed improperly by a doctor's office or a hospital, they can help you with that too. They'll even
Garlic, you miss Rush, yeah.
hospital to make sure you get the care
We all miss Rush.
care you deserve. And that's just the beginning of what they do. I Will Advocates takes care of all Steve Kane's healthcare issues too, and they can do the same for you.
The reason I ask is I got this thing on Spielberg I want to get into and get back.
Call Debbie at I Will Advocates right now. Toll free 1-877-275-2326.
No one's going to tell me I got to Google it.
1-877-275-2326. 1-877-275-2326.
You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name's Sean. I'm calling from Boca Raton. I want to thank you guys once again. I've listened to this show since the mid-'80s. Thanks for introducing me to Dr. Appleton, Brian, and Steve. I went in there last week. I had a knee problem. One session, I feel so much better. I brought my mother there yesterday. She has a problem with her right side or
He produced it.
right-handed. She feels better. It's amazing. And for people out there that are dealing with pain, believe me, there is an
Didn't direct it,
alternative.
produced it.
Go in there for the
I just looked it up.
consultation. FREE free. You will lose. The only thing you'll lose is the pain that you're dealing with. Do not suffer. Go in to see Dr. Appleton, the greatest visit of your life.
Dr. Appleton a call right now. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710.
What's the last Steven Spielberg movie that was good?
Saturday, appointments not necessary, and walk-ins are welcome. 954-973-0710.
What has he done since Schindler's List or Private Ryan that's worth seeing?
Medical Center. We have non-surgical solutions that include rehab and injections that can prevent you from having to have surgery or prolong the surgery. We have been in practice for 75
No, the last Spielberg movie that was good. Warhorse. I haven't even heard of that one. That he directed. Super 8 is terminal.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Steve is here. You know, Steve, Tom Laporta saved your house. I mean, your house was on the verge of being condemned. It really was. Yeah. Well, you know, you had a wet spot on your ceiling, which means you had a leak in your roof. You did nothing about it. The leak got bigger. Water spread. The leak got bigger. You needed a whole new roof. 40% of the drywall in your home was infested with deadly black mold that you and your family were breathing. And I can't, yeah, I can't.
If you're going to stay in your room, bear in mind it's trouble. It's a lot worse than you realize. That's why you got to call Tom.
That's right. By the time that wet spot gets to your ceiling, you got a problem because it takes a while to get there. And yeah, I came to your house a couple times and I smelled the mold smell, but I didn't say anything because I didn't want to be like rude, like your house stinks. I did not know it was deadly black mold. When Tom Laporta came over and inspected your roof, he did a mold inspection and found there's other molds other than deadly black mold. You had the deadly black mold. But he really, you know, he saved you, your family, your house, and there was a lot of work, and he did great work, and your house is now the showpiece model house of the block. And the roof you got a new style of roof, which was just amazing. But you have an HOA, a homeowners association, and you guys in Florida, you know what the HOAs are like. I mean, it's like dealing with the Reichstag. I mean, it's like, or the Politburo in the Soviet Union. They're rough. And you got a bunch of liberal jerks that run your HOA. They know who you are. They hate you, you know. And Tom Laporta, he is the Alan Dershowitz of HOA advocates. He dealt with your HOA. You had your whole house basically rebuilt. It had to be HOA approved, and Tom Laporta handled the whole thing. So if you've got he covers the whole state of Florida, by the way, Tom Laporta. He's a good MAGA guy. But if you've got it...
you know, number one, he is a world-class roofer.
And he's a contractor, too. Yeah.
Additions to your home, which he's working on, got a plan in place to put another bedroom in the house.
Oh, my gosh. Really?
Tom does it all.
You're there, James. You're not blocked.
He handles these HOAs or whatever. Just brings them right into line and gets everything going smooth.
Tom Laporta is such a maestro with the HOAs. He could have an entire business just being an advocate for homeowners dealing with HOAs, which says a lot. Now, he covers the whole state of Florida. This number rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone. It's 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602, and online, LaportaContracting.com. All right, now before we get back to Biden and Jean-Pierre and everything, Steven Spielberg, liberal guy, you know. What's the last movie that Steven Spielberg directed that was worth seeing? Can't even think. I mean, I'm trying to think. You know, he used to be a big deal. And, yeah, I mean, he had some great movies. Jaws, Schindler's List, Saving Private Ryan, Goonies, Indiana Jones, but that was all long ago. Anything he does now he is so liberal and so woke. I never liked E.T., by the way. I think E.T. sucks. I never liked E.T. No one likes E.T. But anyway, I love Indiana Jones. There's a new Indiana Jones coming out. Indiana Jones 5. Harrison Ford is in it, and they say it's going to be very woke. He's handing over the mantle of Indiana Jones to, of course, a woman. Indiana Jones is going to become a woman in this one, courtesy of Harrison Ford and Steven Spielberg. But anyway, the reason I bring this up, Harrison Ford, he's just a liberal jerk, you know. He gave an interview and he talked about how he thought COVID was going to cause the extinction of humanity on the planet Earth. So yeah. Listen, this is a clip of an interview of Steven Spielberg. I hate these things because it's, I think this liberal jerk's behind these movies. I love Jaws. I love Indiana Jones. And this is the guy that this liberal jerk brings us these things. Listen to this. This is Steven Spielberg talking about COVID and Trump.
Also was terrified that this was an end of days, an epic level event, and a extinction level event that was happening to the world. By the time Tony and I sat down to seriously start engaging in discussions about writing this, we'd already lost 250,000 Americans to COVID. I didn't know, and I actually was saying to Katie and my family, if there was one thing I wanted to leave behind, if I got a chance to make one more movie, what would that movie be? And without even blinking, it was going to be the story.
Okay, now I don't know what movie he's talking about, but this guy, let me tell you something. This guy's a real beaut, right? You got to see this movie. I thought humanity was going to be wiped out. I thought we were facing extinction like the dinosaurs. So I had to make this movie so that people could watch it before we were all dead. That's how important this movie is to me, that I made it. 250,000 Americans or more, 250,000 Americans died of COVID. I thought the whole human race worldwide was going to be dead, but I got my team together. Even though we were all going to be dead, we made this movie. This movie was so important, I had to make it so that everyone on Earth could see it before the human race was extinct. I mean, I've heard of some desperate promos for things before in movies, but this beats it. I mean, this is...
And my family, if there was one thing I wanted to leave behind, if I got a chance to make one more movie, what would that movie be? And without even blinking, it was going to be the story. I was sitting there, look, like all of us, I was riveted to the Fauci reports. I was riveted at the time to what all the anchors were saying on all the different news outlets and all the experts that were coming out and the denial from that White House that this...
See, here's another one. He can't say Trump. Say his name. The president whose name shall not be mentioned by these liberal jerks. President Trump put together the team with Fauci and Birx, right? He put together Operation Warp Speed. Give me a break.
At the time to what all the anchors were saying on all the different news outlets and all the experts that were coming out and the denial from that White House that this wasn't so bad. It was just like a a passing flu epidemic. And I really thought that between the denial and between the battle between politics and science, that we were not heading in a good direction.
Right.
And that this was not going to end well for many of us. And that just got me thinking about, telling a story that has been on my mind. Jason, has been on my mind all my life. I've thought about this.
I don't know what story he's talking about or what movie it is, but I hope if anyone knows, let me know so I'll be sure to see it because it's got to be the greatest movie ever.
It's autobiographical.
Oh, it's about him? It's a movie about him? Oh, what a jerk. I wonder if he has a part where he cheated on his first wife, Amy Irving, with his current wife. Wonder if that's it. Is that in the documentary? This guy. So, wait a minute. Steven Spielberg said, what an egomaniac. I thought the entire human race was going to be extinct. I had to make a movie about me so everyone could see the story of me before everyone died. I mean, that's got to be the biggest ego on the planet. Can you imagine? What a piece of work. I'm not interested in seeing it. I'm not going to see it. And he's blaming Trump. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. I'd like to ask him what he thinks about Alec Baldwin being free. Killed a woman. Shot the director while he was making a movie. I'd be to find out how he handles guns on the set. All right, anyway. Yep.
Interested in film, which is really collapsed as a...
That's for sure.
If you like horror movies, which I do, there's a new horror movie out called Megan.
Oh, yeah. I know that movie. Yeah.
Megan. Who's the other famous Megan?
I don't know. That's the one about the robot movie.
Yeah, I think so.
Starring Brian Williams' daughter. Yeah. I know how it ends. I know the movie, but I won't spoil. Okay. It's basically a remake of Chucky. A poor remake of Chucky. But anyway, we'll take our break for the bottom of the hour. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. Steve's here. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again.
I think you're going to really love it.
It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. The greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the oldies forecast.
Good morning, everybody. Hope you're off to a great start. Temperatures a bit milder this morning and this afternoon. We're going to be above the average high for this time of year in the upper 70s, so getting closer to 80 as we make our way closer.
I know. These stories are insane. Steven Spielberg is really talking about the movie about him. Unreal. What an egomaniac. James, you're not censored. You're right here, but if you keep complaining, maybe we'll have to censor you. You're worse than Spielberg. Everything's about you.
And now, a true oldies traffic check brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
In the Palm Beaches, the major expressways are crash-free, but in Lake Worth, we're going to have stop-and-go traffic on 95 heading southbound between 10th Avenue North and Atlantic Avenue. A multi-vehicle crash lingers in West Palm Beach along Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard and North Australian Avenue. A crash now cleared in Lake Worth on Military Trail at Lake Worth Road. And we're still seeing the usual stop-and-go traffic on 95 heading northbound from Deerfield Beach into Boca. Broward County is crash-free at this time. This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance flexes to fit your business's needs. From quick repairs to adjustable coverages and even payment options, Progressive Commercial makes it easy to get what you need. Quote today in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. That's traffic. I'm Chris Barr.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. EBKC is kicking off 2023 with exciting events live in the Paddock Restaurant. Make plans for dinner shows, Joey and Maria's Comedy Italian Wedding, and Chris McDonald's Memories of Elvis on Valentine's Day. Then get ready to laugh with comedians the Flynn Brothers, Andrew Dice Clay, and Joe DeVito. For tickets and info, go to pbkennelclub.com.
And a sneeze there. Your first thought is what? Oh, I'm coming down with something. But did you ever think you might not be sick? You might have an allergy. Find out and have your allergies tested at any lab test down
Yeah.
Coral Springs or any
Who?
lab test down in Boca. Any lab
Who's
test
that?
down Coral Springs is located at 955
Oh.
North University Drive on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood by the Coral Square Mall. Give them a call, 954 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any lab test now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza. That's where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto and north of Hillsboro. Call them at 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. They will test for both environmental and food allergies. No appointment is necessary. And make sure you mention you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
Are you hungry? In a hurry?
Oh, boy.
Come to Jersey Mike's, located in the TJ Maxx Plaza on Indiantown Road in Jupiter at the corner of alternate A1A and Indiantown Road. All of our subs are made to order, and our bread is baked fresh every day. At Jersey Mike's, we are dedicated to making the best subs, including our scrumptious ham and cheese prepared Mike's way with our red wine vinegar and olive oil blend. Try the hot chicken or steak and cheese sub. So good. Mention you heard us on the True Oldies at this particular location in the TJ Maxx Plaza on Indiantown Road and receive $1 off any sub. Fresh sliced, fresh grilled. Jersey Mike's Jupiter.
If you're a homeowner, business owner, or with a homeowners association and your roof is old or compromised, you need to call Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting. Tom will give you a free evaluation. He's been in business since 1988. His services cover the entire state of Florida, and Laporta Contracting was voted in the best general contractor and best roofers in Fort Lauderdale. He's honest, knowledgeable, and reliable, and will never sell you a roof you don't need. If you need a simple repair, he'll do it. If you have an insurance claim, call Tom Laporta first. He'll give you the information and tools you need, so when you call your insurance company, you get the best results. Tom can handle any type of roofing job too. Residential roofing and repair.
And when you start to think about it, it's pretty extraordinary that we, a select group of human beings,
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, the Sean Carey thing, I got to play that.
4602. 954-604-4602.
What do you guys think about Matt Schlapp being accused by a guy of sexual harassment? You think it's true, yes or no? He's the guy from CPAC.
You don't know, you don't always have symptoms. STDs make you and your baby sick. I don't want my baby sick. No one cares.
Matt Schlapp, he's the guy that does CPAC. You don't believe it?
This is Steve Kane. I want to tell you about my favorite restaurant in all of South Florida, Wings Plus in Coral Springs. Wings, just the
No, I don't believe it either.
plump, tender, and delicious, crispy
I don't believe it either.
succulent on the inside, everything homemade.
If it was a woman, a girl, I could believe it. Him and his wife have had a lot of cosmetic surgery, so I can see them being like freaky. Matt Schlapp, he's the guy that does CPAC. Oh yeah, he's going to resign. Yeah, I don't believe it either. Yes, that's my emoji. Anybody remember the name of Cory Booker's beard? All right, welcome back. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve is here. I'm Brian. Oh, man, our number one, AAA, Go Kane 1. I have one more soundbite I haven't played yet. I want to get to this, okay? Oh, no, ask me the question. Oh. Oh, yes, that's got to be good, yeah.
Bet. I know you don't bet,
I don't gamble.
but you gotta get you out of your non-betting head because it's so fun.
Oh, yeah.
You do these little things on the
Yeah, I know. How long have you been a gambling addict? How old were you when you made your first bet?
Oh God, I
Can't even remember a time when you weren't a gambling addict.
give you
So you've been gambling forever, for over half a century.
I can remember.
Yeah, I'll pass, Steve. I'll pass on that vice.
Well, you didn't even hear the wager yet.
No.
Pick, all right. Biden's tenure in office. Will he be in office or out of office when my birthday comes? My birthday is May 7th. Do you think that's what we would call in betting parlance an over-under bet?
Oh, that's pretty close. Well, we got.
Maple Leaf.
That's like Steve. That's I was going to say that's like a gold maple leaf. That's like $1,900 and something. No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. Steve, you are not going to hook me into your addiction of gambling. This is not going to happen. By May? No, I don't know. It's 50-50 because it depends. What it's going to take are some hardcore House hearings on this, and I haven't heard them announce a specific hearing on this yet. So if we get it,
I'll take under.
So you before May. Okay. I mean, I think there's a good chance of that. Yeah, resign to Delaware. Yeah. No, he's in trouble. It's getting worse every day. This clip I played earlier in the show of Jean-Pierre throwing him under the bus, that's the beginning of the end. Yeah, but see, well, I was going to play another one, but let me play this one again, because this one, since we're talking about it, this one is amazing. Let me cue it up to the right part. Hold on. Okay, yeah. Okay. This was, Jean-Pierre was asked by a CBS reporter yesterday, when did she find out about the classified documents, okay? And her answer is just amazing. Listen, this is Jean-Pierre. She's been a liberal CBS reporter.
I was very clear about that. When did you learn about the documents found at the Penn Center in November and in Wilmington in December?
When your team was doing a story on it.
Okay. So when did you find out about the classified documents in the closet at the fake think tank that were found in November? She said when CBS News reported on it, which was like 2 weeks ago. So she didn't know about it. So this is amazing. So what we know here is she's saying there was a cover-up and I had no part of it. When the documents were found by Biden's lawyer, who really works for Obama, in the closet, the story they put out there was they called the archives, they called the White House, and the archives called the Justice Department. So in November, Biden and his top team knew about it, but they didn't tell Jean-Pierre. So what Jean-Pierre told the press yesterday is, I did not know about it until 2 weeks ago when you first reported it. There was a cover-up. I was not involved in any cover-up of this. I didn't do any crime, because the cover-up itself is a crime because you're becoming an accessory to the document scandal. And she is the first...
Earlier, she threw the administration under the bus.
No. She threw Biden specifically under the bus. Very specifically. Not just the administration, Biden. She's part of the administration, and she wants everyone to know there was a cover-up. The cover-up is criminal. I didn't know about the cover-up. I didn't know about the crime. I found out about it when you reported it. And these other documents, I'm finding out as you reporting on it as well. So she is the first White House official to throw Biden under the bus. That's huge. And that should be the lead story. But I was talking about this earlier, Steve. These White House press reporters are so impressed with themselves. All they talk about is the question they ask, and they never listen to the answer. And I saw this live yesterday, and I went and pulled it offline so I could share it and play it each hour this morning, because I thought that was the big takeaway from the press conference yesterday. Not the question, it was her answer. And far as I know, I have never, and presidents have been under scandal and tough questioning all the time. I've never heard a White House press secretary throw their president under the bus like that. I bet you even during Watergate, that was a little bit before my time, but I bet, who was? Do you remember who the press secretary was for Nixon at the end? Do you remember? You were obsessed with that at the time.
Oh, what a great question.
I'm sure it was a white man because it was the 70s. It wasn't a black immigrant lesbian like today. Well, whoever it was, I bet you they were defending him all the way. I bet you they didn't throw Nixon under the bus during the White House press briefing. Okay, that's unheard of.
bus when they took the walk up Pennsylvania.
No. The press secretary didn't take a walk anywhere. The press secretary went out there and answered questions. The press secretary said, I didn't know anything about this crime. No. This is unheard of. And that's why I'm telling you, it's going to be sooner rather than later when he resigns. He's in big trouble. He has no allies now, except those in his very inner circle, which are his wife, that scummy chief of staff that's really running the country, and a couple of people that were involved in, like Hunter. Everyone is distancing themselves from him. That's why he is in big trouble. And this is beautiful. I'm enjoying it. It's not, see, Watergate, people make a big deal about Watergate. The only reason Richard Nixon got in trouble is not because of anything he did. It's because he was a Republican. And the press are Democrats, and they hate Republicans, and they treated Richard Nixon like they treated Donald Trump. Okay? If he were a Democrat, we never would have heard of Watergate. It was an FBI sting operation, and Woodward and Bernstein are not investigative journalists. They're agents of the FBI who fed them all the information. Okay? This is a much different thing that's going on. And for the press to be this crazy over a Democrat never happens. It never happens. And there was this other clip I played earlier. Let me just play this other one. This was the NBC reporter that got caught on the hot mic, okay? This was also, now this one's getting some play yesterday, but they're not really focusing in on things. The stories are about the press. Oh, this guy said this, or this person asked that. They're not getting into the content. Let me pull this one up. Well, I'm doing everything I can do to make it happen. So yesterday, no, it's true. I was contacted by someone from the media about yesterday's show, and this is the first time that we've talked about something on the air that I've been like nervous about, because we're in new territory. I'll tell you off the air who contacted me from the media. I'm not going to say on the air. So yesterday, Biden had some moment in the East Room with somebody. I forgot who it was. It's not important. Where they sit down in the chairs and the press start yelling at him. The mic is on. At the end, you hear an NBC reporter, the NBC White House correspondent, talk about it, and it's amazing. Now, Biden, they're yelling questions all about the documents. Biden's just sitting there with a blank stare.
Sir, why are you telling
Now, these screaming people, 99% of them are Democrat fake news hacks. And you've got a room filled with fake news liberal hacks yelling these questions about the documents to a Democrat president is historic in nature. He's lost the press. But you'll clearly hear the NBC reporter picked up on the mic, and what he said, his question was that Biden didn't answer. Listen. Okay, now he'll talk about it in a second. So you hear him say, will you agree to speak with the special counsel, which is the lead investigator into the DOCU-GATE?
I looked him straight in the eye and said it. He looked at back and he said a word. Will you commit to speak to the special counsel? He looked at me, didn't say a word.
Okay, and he's talking to another liberal jerk, fake news reporter. So the question was, and then they're talking, he's like upset he didn't answer. I asked him, I looked straight in his face, straight in his eyes, and said, will you agree to speak to the special counsel? When they're asking a president, will you agree to testify to the prosecutor, to the investigator? We moved into a new area yesterday. That was just them on a hot mic, just having a conversation. I looked. No, he said he didn't say anything. He said no. He didn't reply. So this is, when they start asking that question, the liberal media of a Democrat, it's over. The Biden presidency is over. It's over.
I want to tell you this from the bottom of my heart. I'm very proud of you. You did great work on this.
Well, we're not done yet. No, I'm all over this. I'm all over this. Now, it's time to take our last break of the day. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
All right, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman, who we check in with each morning at this time from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how the metals look today?
The metals look very good. In fact, if you blink, you miss the corrections when giving you a buying opportunity in this market because it's so bullish. We get temporarily pullbacks of $10, $20, $15, and then straight back up, and that was the case yesterday and last night. Yesterday we saw gold drop down to $1,904, trading in a range of $1,904 to $1,920, and then closing at $1,908.60 the ounce, which was down $7.10 on the day. Silver did similar, got up to $24.50, and as low as $23.80, closed at $23.91 the ounce, which was down 35 cents. Platinum was down $22 at $1,039, and palladium closed down $14 at $1,658 overnight. Gold trading as low as $1,896, testing that $1,900 number, but then ran right back up, trading up as high as $1,925. Right now we're at $1,920 the ounce. That's up $11.40. Silver up 24 cents at $24.15 now. Platinum up $26 at $1,085, and palladium up $32 at $1,690. So these pullbacks are very short-lived, and you've got to watch the markets and give us a call and take advantage of any dips that you see in this market. But it doesn't look like it wants to go lower. It looks like it wants to go a lot higher.
Now, if someone sees a dip and they want to jump in and they call you, can you tell people about how locking in the price? You often say that, lock in the price, how that works.
Yeah, just if you see a dip or a price that you want to take advantage of, call us immediately. Lock in the price and just bring cashier's check or payment in within a couple of hours or so. If you're doing it that way, or if you're doing it through the mail, just wire us the funds, and you've taken advantage of a little dip. And as I said, these don't last very long. So watch the markets and take advantage of it if it happens.
And let me ask you, the prices on gold, I mean, we're over 1,900 this morning. Is it still a buy recommendation for gold right now? We at a hold? We in a buy? What are we doing with gold today?
Absolutely. we like the markets right now. They're acting very well, and I'm looking for gold to hit around $23.50 this year. So
oh my goodness.
That'll be anything under 2,000.
I got goosebumps. So, you don't hear William Youngerman give price predictions very often. Okay, I know a lot of these guys, everything's going to the moon. When you hear William Youngerman give a price prediction, take it very serious because you don't hear that very often. All right, give him a call. He opens up weekdays at 10 a.m. over at William Youngerman's. 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. Online, WilliamYoungerman.com, or stop right in. He's located at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. All right, William Youngerman, have a great day. We'll touch base tomorrow. All right, back after this.
For breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on.
All right, we are back. Do you have any more of those pizzas left from Anne Marie's in your freezer, Steve?
I've got to try to get up there.
Well, I'll tell you, you're starting like a freeze-dried business with Anne Marie's. You get all the takeout and you put it in your freezer right away, and you stock up for like a couple weeks.
Pizza, they do.
Well, I'll tell you, who doesn't love pizza? And I know there's pizza everywhere, but not like Anne Marie's. I don't know what it is about their crust, Steve, but there's something just extra special about it.
Also, the meats that they use, the sausage, the pepperoni, really tangy, really spicy, just really just blow you away. It's so great.
Well, the thing about Anne Marie's, of course, everything's homemade. Grandma's right there in the kitchen with Grandma's recipes. Everything's homemade, including the pizza pies. And one thing at Anne Marie's that you will see that you don't see in the restaurant business anymore, not just because it's family-owned, family-run, Grandma's recipes, everything's homemade. They take great pride in the food that they serve to you. And they make sure that every dish they give you is spectacular and just as good as the last. And I've never seen such pride given in the dishes. And when I go over there and I get takeout a lot from Anne Marie's, and they'll open up the pizza and show it to me. Like, you got to check this out. I've never seen some place do that. These other places, they're just folding boxes and throwing pies in there, and here you go, the pizza. Anne Marie's, that crust is something special. And I talk about the secret pizza menu a lot. And this one will blow your mind. And Steve, I don't think you've had one of these yet, but when you go over to Anne Marie's, no matter if it's lunch, dinner, if you're doing takeout, ask for the lunch menu. Even if it's dinner time, ask for the lunch menu. They'll give it to you. Flip the lunch menu over, and what I call the secret Anne Marie's menu is on the backside of the lunch menu. Big Jerry's Crazy New York Craft Pies. And of course, pies is Italian for pizza. And they have these specialty pizzas that are out of this world. And the one that they're all great, but my favorite is the Steak Deluxe Pizza. Listen to this. This is a pizza at Anne Marie's. It's a pizza with ribeye steak, onions, peppers, mozzarella, provolone, a garlic oil base. They have many others too, including a lobster and shrimp pizza, and many others. But ask for the lunch menu. The secret menu of pizzas is on the back side of the lunch menu. And next time you go over, Steve, you should take a look at it. It'll blow your mind. That ribeye steak pizza is out of this world. And the Sicilian too. Have you had the Sicilian yet?
Yes.
Oh, man. Is that a Sicilian? I mean, my good. I've been on the search for the best Sicilian pizza for years in Florida, and I finally found it at Anne Marie's in Pompano. Anne Marie's, of course, in Pompano on the northwest corner of US 1 Federal Highway and Copans Road in the same plaza as the movie theater. It's a great date spot for Valentine's Day, too. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio. All right, so the walls are crumbling. So now, they got this. I don't pay much attention to the World Economic Forum in Davos. A lot of people do. I don't pay too much attention to it. With that, well, there's too much going on here. You know what it is? It's the European version of the Democrat Congress. This is when the European Union gets together with and everybody in government over there. They get all their money, all the donors in Europe to those corrupt prime ministers and members of parliament, all those old countries. That's how they do their stealing, like our Congress does over here, But a lot of the bigwig Democrats like to go over there, and John Kerry went over, and we got to hear what a lunatic, what a self-important... You think Spielberg, who said, I thought the human race was going to be extinct, but before all of humanity was wiped out, I had to make this movie for them to see about me. Every human had to see this movie about me, Steven Spielberg, before they died from the COVID. What an ego, right? Steven Spielberg hasn't made a movie in 20 years that anybody wants to see. But John Kerry's ego might be even greater than Steven Spielberg's, okay? And that's saying a lot. Listen, this is John Kerry yesterday at Davos.
And when you stop and think about it, it's pretty extraordinary that we, select group of human beings, because of whatever touched us.
Okay, now, before I get to the rest of this, select group of human beings, I don't know, I want to ask you as a Jew, Steve, it sounds like a Nazi. What is he saying? He's of the superior master group of human beings? That sounds like he's talking about the master race. Arrogance and Nazi-like. I mean, my goodness.
And when you stop and think about it, it's pretty extraordinary that we, select group of human beings, because of whatever touched us at some point.
We in the master race. I mean, is Eichmann out there? What the hell?
Revealing clip of Kerry I've ever...
Well, what does it reveal to you? And I'm not done yet. Wait till you get to the big finale.
Really, it gets worse than that.
Yeah. What does it say about him that he's just a... Yeah.
The most arrogant... I mean, we
of the master race.
About himself.
Yes, he is. Now, a lot, his claim to fame is that he was in Vietnam, and I'll just share something with you about my time in country in the Nam. John Kerry was in Vietnam 3 months longer than I was in Vietnam. Yeah, that's true.
And when you stop and think about it, it's pretty extraordinary that we, select group of human beings, because of whatever touched us at some point in our lives, are able to sit in a room and come together and actually talk about saving the planet. I mean, it's so almost extraterrestrial to think about.
He thinks that he's a superior race and an alien. He's an extraterrestrial, E.T., phone home. You know, you were talking about Spielberg, we get the E.T. connection. He thinks he's an extraterrestrial who's come from another planet. Almost feels like that. He's an alien. That's true. What he's saying is he thinks that he's from a superior intelligence humankind somewhere who's come to Earth to save us from ourselves.
Are able to sit in a room and come together and actually talk about saving the planet. I mean, it's so almost extraterrestrial to think about, quote, saving the planet. And if you said that to most people, they think you're just a crazy tree-hugging, lefty, liberal, or whatever, and there's no relationship. But really, that's where we are.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. So, John Kerry is so pathetically insecure. When he was running for president, a lot of people were questioning how tough he was because of his stance against the war in Iraq. Now, broken clock is right twice a day. We did not know that Dick Cheney and George W. Bush were lying war criminals, okay, at the time, but he was against the war in Iraq. And when people were questioning his masculinity, do you remember what he did? Oh, this was the worst, Steve. Do you remember what John Kerry did?
About at the convention?
No. Oh, this was the best. So for about 3 or 4 days, this is when he was the Democrat nominee, okay? And the Democrat nominee is surrounded by an entire press corps everywhere they go, right? And there was 3 or 4 days of discussion that he's really not very manly, John Kerry. He's not manly. He's against this war. John Kerry's a wimp. It was going on 3-4 days. He went to his one of his mansions, the one in Aspen, the ski resort. He went into a ski shop to buy ski gear, which of course he already has, with the entire press. He went in on national television and bought a jock strap. And not only did he buy a jock, I'm not making this up, okay? Not only did he buy a jock strap, he bought the biggest one they had, because his, is so big. He's so tough. His thing, he's like Tommy Lee. He needs this thing. He did it on television in front of the press corps. I could remember that. Oh my goodness. He held it. Yeah, he looked through the jock straps, and then he picked it up, and it was the biggest one. And look, I'm a tough guy. I got the biggest jock strap off the rack. I couldn't believe. Oh my goodness, I miss those days. He was a great. He's a. But now he thinks he's come from another planet to save the Earth. Him and Greta Thunberg. He's the climate czar. He's the climate czar. Yeah. Oh my goodness, what a jerk. And everybody in that room applauded him, and anyone else would be like, hey, John, you went a little too far there. You look at God. They all agree. They all think they're special, the master race. Oh, boy, I tell you. Well, that's about it for today. My voice got through it. But we got 1 minute to go. I don't know if I can carry the last minute, Steve. Well, that's not I got 2 more days on the air. We got Thursday and Friday, then the weekend, and then next week, and then it's our MAGA cruise. By the way, right now at MyPillow.com on the radio listener specials, the MyPillow 3-inch mattress topper is 40% off with our promo code Kane. I've been sleeping on the couch all week because I don't want to sleep in the bed with my wife and make her sick. And I don't have my 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper. My entire body is not feeling good. I've got muscle aches where I didn't even know I had muscles. I'm not sleeping. I'm tossing and turning because I don't have my mattress topper. I can't wait till I get well so I can get back in bed with my mattress topper, and my wife, of course, but the mattress topper. But the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper is 40% off with the promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E at MyPillow.com. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. All right, guys, take care. We'll be back tomorrow morning, and What's going on with Joe Biden is pretty huge, guys, and it's getting deeper every day. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane has been here. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. God bless America, and, of course, God bless Donald Trump.
WWNN AM Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiana.